everyone. How's it going? Hey, how are all of you? Can we get some RDR hypes in chat? How are you all doing? Hey, how is it going? Hey, Pixie. I read that a little bit earlier. Have a good night. Thank you. I appreciate the comment. Michael, Marie. That is not ESO music. I actually had that specially mentioned. Hey, Zitch. Hey, what's happening, everyone? How are y'all doing? Anyway, let me get on some... Oh, let me actually... Sorry, I was a little bit late. What I wanted to do... Open that in a new tab. Getting set up. But yeah, tell me how y'all are doing. How's your day going? How is all of that and whatnot? Hey, Rogue. I also really like seeing more yellow names in chat. I'm really happy with that because I'd messed around a while for like ways to get people to incentivize, like to do the verification process. And I think that's really, I think that the way that's set up right now is good because it's like a positive incentive, right? Like everyone likes a cool yellow colored name, right? Check donations. Check donations. What do you mean check donations? Hold on. Oh, shit. Hey, I got $25. Was that from you? Thank you. Oh my god. I really appreciate it. You should have waited till stream started. Yeah, but thank you so much. I really, that's awesome. Gadabout, well, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. That's awesome. Yellow is an oddly perfect color. I got it. You got 177 on the LSAT? No. No, you didn't. Oh my god. All right, well, we have someone in the server who's about to go to fucking Yale. So congratulations. Not even that, you're gonna get like a full ride or some shit. 50% chance at Harvard. Fuck. God damn. Well, hey, I'm happy for you. That's awesome. That's great. 3.6 GPA. Wait, how'd you get a 3.6 GPA in undergrad, but you have a 177 on your LSAT? How is that even possible? Where'd you go to? I won't ask where you went to undergrad because I imagine it's either hard as hell or you're just one of those people who is kind of like lazy in undergrad but somehow can pull out amazing. Oh, or depression. That all right? Then there you go. Well, hey, talk about getting out of that depression. Fuck, 177. For people who aren't watching, like if you get 177, you're going to you can go to most T14 schools pretty easily, if not with like some kind of scholarship. Hello there, Tobin. Also, 99.75%. Yeah, it's it's incredibly high. I think I only got, I'm trying to remember what I got. I think it was a 165, which I liked. You know, it got me a full ride to like a top 50 school, but like, fuck me. You're gonna get money and go to fucking U Chicago or some shit. I live in Michigan, so U of M will probably give me money. Oh, that'd be awesome. And they're a really good school, and like it's close to where you live, so it'd be really cheap for you, and they'd give you money. That'd be really nice. That would be like like if you can get like a University of Maryland, University of Michigan law degree and not graduate with any debt, like you'd be set for life, right? Like that is, or I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't make recommendations, but that'd be that for me, like a great law degree at a place where you like to live, assuming that you like to live in Michigan. A fantastic law degree in the place where you like to live without any debt graduating, like that's great. So yeah, I'm very happy for you. I'm sorry. Everyone, I'm just like geeking out because like once that's awesome. That's worth celebration. Also, hey Socks, I am here. Hello Socks, how are you? How is it going? Yeah. Also, by the way, to everyone who's watching, I'm sorry about Twitter drama. I feel bad insofar as like I don't want y'all to get roped into like my business, you know? I just need to figure out a better way to interact with people online. And I'm thinking about that. I think I've got figured out basically like how I follow people and know who to interact with. I got that part down. Can we abolish Twitter? Yeah. But now I have to figure out. I thought that was actually going to take care of most of the issues, and I think it takes care of a lot of them. Like I don't have any ethical quorums with like who I follow or who I associate with. Now it's a matter of how I interact with the social media platforms, like on a personal basis. Yeah, totally. I'm a blood sports. Yeah, I don't use Twitter to see drama, even though I'm following you. Sorry, but also not. No. That's totally fine. Honestly, people who are watching who don't use Twitter, good. Don't use Twitter. Do not use it. It's shitty. It's terrible. Don't start using it. The only reason I use it is because it's one of those platforms where it seems like it's necessary for just about every public figure to use, because that's how public figures primarily interact with each other. I usually just follow politicians, so I believe better serve constituents and talk about effective policies on Twitter. That's pretty good. Twitter drama is great to share. It's easy to corner yourself into believing that you're the only one feeling that way and going to stir crazy if you don't reality check afterwards. Okay, then basically, like, I don't know. It really fucks with me that, so I put up the criteria. I will vent about this for a little bit, and then we'll get into, like, ESO and chilling. By the way, if there's a friend who's watching who would be kind enough to help me with, what do you call it, with reading flashcards, and I don't have a particular person in mind right now, but anyone would be welcome, and it would be really appreciated. Okay, let's go to twitter.coms. Okay, so basically what happened was, for a recap, what I did was I put out this tweet the other day in a pretty stereotypical manner. Like, I've done these before without any issue. Like, I've posted multiples of these documents before in this exact format. Like, I have like a basic format that I use for all of my docs like this, right? Because I thought a lot about like what I care about in following someone, because if you all just want to think about this for a moment, most people, I imagine, don't have like a lot of really good criteria in their head for who they follow. Most people have some combination of like, oh, it's people who I kind of like, or I find entertaining, or oh, people who are generally relevant to what I care about, or oh, you know, people who I agree with on things, right? But for me, right, I guess because I notice a lot of really bad behavior in the space, I can't really force anyone to act better. So the best I could do, like with, for example, people who have done the verification system in my Discord, the best thing I can do is provide positive incentives, right? So basically what I wrote out here was like, hey, I recognize this problem in larger political discourse. I want to try and improve it. The best way I can is by using my follow as a way to be able to reward people who I think are acting in the way that I would expect other people to act in a good faith kind of setting, right? I don't know. I thought a lot about it. I honestly didn't think when I posted it that it was going to get as much attention as it did. Like, I literally thought I was just gonna post it and pin it to my profile, and it was gonna get like there's a couple of but I thought I was gonna post it and it was gonna get like maybe a couple likes and retweets, maybe some people are like, oh, that's neat, and then nothing else, and I was just gonna like pin it to my profile. But people are losing their minds over this. Like, there are so many, like, I can't tell you how many quote tweets are just like, lol, try hard, lol, touch grass, lol, this is way too serious, lol. And it's just like, first off, all of these people are lefties, which is hilarious because the vast majority of these people are the exact same kind of people who would tell you to read theory instead of actually engaging with any arguments. Like, these are the kinds of people who you get into an argument with and they're just like, lol, read theory, and they don't bother explaining anything, expecting you to just go off and read like books and books and books of like 100 years old literature. So like, you know, kind of funny that they would like make fun of, oh, this takes way too long to read, and this is like too much for most people to be able to handle, when they would tell you to go do that regularly, right? So that's the first part. Then the second part, I don't know why people are so bent up about this. I don't know why. This is driving me crazy. Like, why lefties in particular? It's not righties. Like, it's like very predominantly people who are left-leaning, you know? Like I cannot, it does not make any sense to me whatsoever that there are people who are losing their goddamn minds about this. Like, I literally just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna write this down. I thought about this for a while, and I'm just gonna put it out, and hopefully I'll be able to improve public discourse. Like, I did it to try and like help public discourse, and people are trying to shit on it, yeah. Also, this heat wave got people losing their minds. If that's it, then that's... Hey, you know what, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what's happening. A lot of it was sock Twitter, which made me sad. Yeah. Fuck. I don't know. I don't know why. There's no good reason for people to getting beat up over this when these are the same kinds of people who look at Natalie doing over-the-top, completely performative stuff and be like, oh yeah, that's so good. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Try hard. Please try hard. Oh yeah, that's so good. And then like looking at this, which I guarantee you took like an infinite, like a tenth or actually not, like 1% of the amount of time that it takes Natalie to make one of her videos, I guarantee you, people are not getting mad at her trying hard, but then are like getting bent over about, oh, Riley has a header and a footer. Oh, wow. Like in every other doc that she does. Oh my God. I don't know. It's just really weird. Like, it's just like, I don't know what people in this space care about. I have no idea. It's just super fucking weird, but what do you do? Twitter makes everyone... You don't seem to be optically subscribed to the main Twitter left aesthetic of your method of doing content is different comparable ever. Well then, isn't that a good thing? I mean, you know, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that it's a good thing to innovate and try to do things different, you know? Like, I don't want to... Especially because, like, I'm friends with Natalie and I hang out with her a lot. Like, she's very conscientious about the fact, and let's be real, like, there's an entire, like, basically all of BreadTube just copies Natalie to some extent. Just like all of, like, the lefty debate sphere copies Destiny to some extent, right? Like, it's really hard to do something, like, to innovate and do something genuinely original, but I try, you know? I want to do something that's, like, unique and, like, that actually contributes to discourse in a different way that's good, you know? Formative figures? Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to be a formative... I would like to be a formative figure, not insofar as like, oh, I need to satisfy some like need of my ego, but more in the sense that like, I would like to be able to contribute something meaningful to public discourse that is able to help other people. That's what I would want, you know? And it's hard. It's hard to be original. But I guess if you try to be original, then people shit on you for it. Fuck my life. I don't know. I also tweeted out saying that, like, oh, I have to wonder at this point if the online left is in part responsible for the high trans suicide rates because they constantly harass trans women. That was, like, mostly... That was mostly joking, but also, like, holy shit, do these people not give two shits about harassing women online? Like, there is a lot of harassing women online, and a lot of it surprisingly from the left, which I did not expect, but here we are. Which is why I'm very specific to tell you all, don't go around harassing people. I'm always very specific to say, don't go harassing people. Go and confront other arguments and make sure that people aren't spreading misinformation, but for the love of fuck, do not fucking harass other people. To see a man, the hypothetical good faith actor's reaction, I feel as though I may not be living to your expectation is longer to type than insert explicitive here. Wait, to steal man, the hypothetical good faith actor's reaction, I feel as though I may not be living to your expectation is longer to type than insert explicitive here. I mean, if people, the whole point of putting it out there, putting the criteria out there so that people can have something to work towards. Like, the idea is like, hey, here's a reward that I can give. I can't give much, but I can give something. So work towards that. Be better, you know? Like, all the criteria I have here, like, let's talk about them for a second, all right? They're a member of my Discord and have completed the verification process where they determine if they have an issue with any of my public stances. That's important for me. The reason that that's important to me is because it's one of the best ways for me to determine if I'm dealing with someone who is a good faith actor. I define good faith actor by referring to someone who is able to extend charitability to your positions, even if they may otherwise disagree with them, right? Like, if you have someone who disagrees with me on certain things, but then looks at the totality of my statements and agrees with me on other things, that's reason to believe, not necessarily determinative, but it's reason to believe that I'm talking to someone who is a good faith actor, because then you can begin from the premise of, okay, Riley, we are agreeing on some things. I disagree specifically on these things, but I agree with you on other things because I'm not just trying to smear you, right? Like, that's the reason I include that. The second, they are a public figure with more than 1,000 followers or relevant social media platforms, or I'm reasonably convinced they will get more than 1,000 followers in the relevant social media platforms. The reason I do this is because, and I hate to say it, I've tried following just like friends of mine in Discord who like meet this criteria. Two things happen with that. There are like some people who are really small who I don't want to get roped in the drama because I'm constantly being harassed, and I don't want other people who are associated with me who are smaller than me to be harassed unless they have a big enough platform that they're able to push back on their own. Like Pixie is able to reasonably push back on her own because now she has 1,000 followers. But like, I'm not going to follow my brother, you know, and get my brother involved in being harassed online, you know? And also, the other reason I have this requirement is because, like, I want people to be able to, like when I use Twitter, I want to make sure that what I'm reading, because, like, who you follow determines the kind of content that you get. So I want to make sure that I'm getting, like, relevant content as opposed to, like, small in-group kind of stuff, right? Because, like, if you follow a bunch of really small accounts, you end up getting, like, a bunch of tweets that don't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things or aren't that really politically relevant, which isn't bad. But, I mean, for me, since I'm a public figure and I'm operating on a public platform, that's something that I need. IDK Rowan probably not give a fuck. Well, yeah, Tobin, but I don't want... I don't know. Like, I don't know how much harassment you think I get, Tobin. I get harassed by, like, hundreds of people almost daily at this point. Like it is more than I ever thought possible, but here we are, right? And I don't want them to fucking deal with that. But if Rowan gets large enough, like if he gets like 1,000 followers, or if he starts working on this content to the point where I'm like, okay, he's probably going to get there eventually, then sure. Because then it's like, all right, he's kind of bought into being a public figure. He knows what he's getting into. Then I would feel a little bit better. But at this point, it seems like Rowan is really trying as much to have a public platform. But if he wants to keep like digging into it, then we can reconsider that. But like, yes. And then the other part is like, I want to make sure the people are relevant I'm following. So like, you know, if you want me to follow you, then like, you know, work on yourself and contribute something to modern discourse that would make you more relevant. Then the last things, made reasonable efforts to understand my arguments to be responsive to them. That goes back to the first criteria. Do not intend to cause me or my community harm. That's a pretty easy one. Have made reasonable efforts to reconcile any harm they may have negligently caused me prior. I feel like that's also pretty good. If you caused me prior, even if you didn't mean it, then I'd at least expect you to reconcile it. You do not have an unhealthy parasocial relationship with me. Pretty easy. Are not motivated primarily by financial or clout incentive. If you're motivated mainly by clout or money, I don't want to be associated with you. I don't care. Get the fuck out of my life. That's toxic as fuck. And are primarily motivated by genuine care for other people. Like, I feel like having these criteria are very reasonable things that most people can follow to just be healthier online, you know? Like, these aren't impossible things, but, you know, it's like, these are generally things I think if everyone did, that we would probably have a much healthier online space, especially for political discussion. That's my genuine opinion. So, yeah. The format itself actually seems to... Yeah, but that's the thing, right? You can't effectively discourse on Twitter. Everyone is quick to have a knee-jerk reaction and have the worst interpretations of your opinion. Yeah, I think that a big lesson, because, like, this is basically the way that I know how to follow people on every social media platform. I think that there has to be another thing with, like, how I interact with social media platforms. That's, like, the other half of it. I concur. Oh, that's fine. Wall of text, like, keep it, as long as you keep it to like 2 or 3 sentences, I feel like that's fine. Just don't take that, you know, I'm giving you an inch, don't make that a mile. Don't like be like a one single run-on sentence that takes on the whole chat. I concur, mind you, I believe it's a good system, but for some people, setting standards can easily come across as a judgment of their character, like it's targeting them personally. I don't think it's productive to argue with them. There was an influx of newcomers to the stream chat, so it seems people can meet those requirements with a small amount of effort. Yeah. I totally agree. Fuck, this is really hard because I have some insider information about a really big video that another video essayist is coming out with that's talking about that exact issue, Michael, but I can't talk about it. And it really fucking sucks because I absolutely agree that, like, when you, I think that you're going to listen to me right now, chat. You're going to listen really fucking good. And you're going to remember this for at least within, I think, like a month or so. You're going to remember me saying this, all right? There is absolutely an issue where people, because they do not have something, immediately feel envious and decide that, oh, because I do not have this thing that other person can have, no one should be allowed to have it. All right? The fact that they have something that I don't is itself something to get mad about. All right? Even if I'm able to reasonably acquire that thing, if I apply like the smallest amount of effort, just the fact that someone else has something that I do not, just the fact that someone has something that I do not is going to make me feel incredibly envious, and therefore is going to lead me to just attacking them or reacting angrily. Hold on to that thought for at least somewhere in the ballpark of a month, all right? You'll be happy you did. Twitter lists are an underrated way to follow people. Oh, wait, is that White Nervosa? Hey, what's happening, White Nervosa? Twitter lists are an underrated way to follow people without publicly following them. It's a private list. They're not notified. And their tweets are still... yeah, I mean, like, I do that with public news organizations. I have, like, a list with a whole bunch of public news organizations. I guess that, like, it's because there's a way I could do this. I used to have it where I just didn't follow anyone, but then I had, like, a list of people that was public, where it was like, oh, these are people. The problem is that, like, I do kind of want to endorse people, right? Like, if I'm building up a platform that I think, and I have, like, a very particular message of, like, I'm putting out trustworthy content that I want everyone to be able to rely on to be able to improve the space, then I also want to be able to acknowledge and promote other people who I think are likewise contributing to the space in a healthy way, right? Also note, is this what you originally wanted to be talking about for this stream, or is this full on tangents thing? I mean, like, I think that this is fine to talk about, because also no friend of mine has come in to read me flashcards. So, but here we'll start up the ESO, which is obviously what all of you are here for, right? I would, but Tarkov will that's totally fine.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, shit. Hey, what's happening?
Do you want flashcard times?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, hold on a second. I just realized I'm muted. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. Do you recommend getting into ESO on 1L Kappa? Listen, the answer to that is, listen, while you're in 1L, you're not going to be able to do, like, anything. I hate to be the bearer of that bad news. Like, you're going to be doing basically nothing. I shouldn't say basically nothing. Like, I even did, like I did YouTube stuff in 1L. Oh. There we go. Like, I did YouTube stuff in 1L, right? It's just a matter that, like, you have so little spare time. I'll get to read that one property. Yes! The famous Fox case! Oh my god. Wait, you're already familiar with that? What classes did you... How'd you learn about that? Where'd you go for undergrad? Or, I'm sorry. Again, don't answer that. Don't doctor yourself. But, like, how did you already learn about that? Like, what kind of undergraduate education did you get where you're already learning about the famous Fox case? But yeah, you'll learn... I Google lots of law shit. All right, well, hey, there you go. Awesome. There, yeah, you got 177 in the LSAT. Of course you did. I saw it for the LSAT. Yeah, all right. No, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that's going to be really fun. God, there's so many famous cases that you're going to be able to read. I don't know. I'm the weird person where it's like I kind of liked my 1L year in a weird sadistic kind of way. I hate the way that like the information was conveyed and the amount of pressure I was put under. But like the concepts themselves are actually interesting, you know? And like if legal education was like a bit healthier in how it conveyed the information, I feel like people would enjoy it a lot more, right? Like it's really cool to learn about I don't know, learning about like when you get into torts, apparently Harvard doesn't do grades in the first semester. Wait, really? Oh, damn. That's interesting. Honestly, probably for the better, just because like the first semester, I don't know. This is going to be my take on it, right? Because like, oh my God, why is my game going so slow? What is happening?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you want to do flashcards, or if not, I can bounce?
Oh, yeah. Let me just respond to this, really quick.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, also, yeah, but it's great to see you, White Nervous. I hope that you're doing well. Hope stream is going well. I feel for the follows or not endorsements thing, and people take it way too personally if you don't follow them. So honestly, the only reason lists are useless isn't useless as a feature. Obviously, it's useful for specific topics, but better for making all. Yeah. That's good. No, I mean, like, I feel like I probably am gonna make a list for just like everyone who's politically relevant. But like, you know, like I feel like it's reductive to say that people don't care about follows. Like I know that when I was followed by big people initially, when I was just getting to be larger, that like I would screen cap it and I'd be like, oh my God, this is like the coolest thing ever. And I would like share it with other people and be like, oh, this is so cool. Right. Like people do care about these things, regardless of whether or not they acknowledge that. So I feel like, I just want what I do to mean something, Like that's all I want. Like if I have this thing, this nebulous thing, and I can define whatever criteria I want for giving it out, then I just want it to mean something, and I want it to mean something good. That's it. I don't know. It's not more complicated. It's not malicious. It's not like trying to be mean or whatever. I just want people to be better. Yeah. But I hear you. I do have lists that I use privately for like news organizations, whatnot. Oh yeah, it's definitely cool and makes you happy. It just shouldn't be insulting that if you aren't followed back, I feel like that is the problem that people have. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm a public figure. Like there are lots of people who literally 16, there are about 16,000 more people who follow me than I follow back, right? Like that's just kind of inevitable. Like everyone has like some internal criteria. Everyone has like some internal criteria for determining who they follow. No, like everyone doesn't just follow each other back. It's just a matter of figuring out like who is reasonable to, like where we draw those lines. And also, oh my God, why is my game going so slow? All right, that's a little bit better. But yeah, RGR, what news orgs do you typically watch or read at? Sure. Let me here. I'll pull up my list and I'll just show you who I've got right now. I think I have my list public actually. I don't think I have any private lists at this point. So if you want to, you can probably follow most of them. Yeah, I don't think any of these are private. If they are private, I'll unprivate them. I have political training orgs, which are organizations that are geared towards training people if they want to go run in political races. I follow them because I'm interested in running for political races, so they always have really good resources. National politicians and organizations, that's like politicians that seem relevant, but like it's like politicians that seem relevant, or like national like advocacy organizations like the ACLU and whatnot. National news orgs, and then Maryland politicians because I'm focused on Maryland politics. At least I will be. Let's see, national news organizations. So in here I have Punchbowl News. They're pretty good. Political Playbook. I have a couple reporters that just seem really popular. I just follow them because from what I've seen them, they've seemed reasonable. But if they've tweeted something terrible before, don't come at me. They seem to be really big, pretty reliable reporters. The Atlantic, Washington Blade, Democracy Now!, WikiLeaks, SCOTUS blog, Republica, Politico, NPR Politics, NPR, Washington Post, The Hill, New York Times. Got to get 177 tattooed on my... Honestly, yeah, go for it. I absolutely would. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, Scott, I'm good. You can ask me questions. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
No problem. I do need a link to...
go to internal planning in the pinned messages. There should be one that has the information that you need.
I should have remembered this. Okay, give me a second.
You're totally good. Also, there are people who are watching who want to help me run Wayrest Sewers 1 Vet. Then that would be super chill because I'm going to be queuing up for that.
I literally just finished downloading ESO today. And I have no idea what's going on. But
it's fine. Listen, I'm focusing. I got away from it a little bit as I was figuring out everything, but now I don't know. Like I'm just figuring out the different ways for me to interact online that's like most efficient and takes up the least amount of my personal time. So now it's like I got to figure it out where it's like ESO is now a part of like my daily stream. So we're going to be getting into this shit on the day or on the daily. And also now we have commands in YouTube and Stream Chat. People in YouTube and Stream Chat, try doing !ESO and see what comes up, because if it is working properly, and also in Discord chat here, I'll do it. ESO, boom. Oh my God, yeah, there you go. There's the relevant information. So now it's like people who are coming in who are just like non-political, or people. I shouldn't say non-political. People who are watching me or discover me not through politics, but through just like playing ESO, then like, hey, like we do actually organize stuff for this. So come hang out. We do this stuff. Yeah. Nice. So we're getting better. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I've been going through a lot lately, as you all know, but I feel like I'm starting to get to like the other end of the yeah, like the Discord I think is in a super healthy space. I'm really happy with how everything is organized. I think I'm going to add in a new category for different types of what do you call it? Like different types of announcement channels for all of my different types of content. Who watches politics? I'm here for the ESO time, baby. Let's fucking go. Oh, yes, absolutely. But yeah, like what do you call it? I think I'm going to add in some new announcement channels and maybe like mix up the roles a little bit. So that people who are like like if there's people who predominantly use like TikTok or people who predominantly use Twitter or whatever, then like they can have like specialized announcement channels for what kinds of content they use, and like that way like the Discord kind of becomes the hub for the community, and everything can kind of like branch out from there. And then basically I just
really cool.
Or sorry, what?
I was gonna say that sounds really cool. Like it would be awesome if you could figure out like or have roles for like where did you find Riley from? It's like the TikTok zone, the YouTube zone, things like that. Just to see how like your reach gets to people.
Yeah. That's cool. I actually really like that. And then that also can like that's actually really cool. All right, I'm going to implement that idea cuz like now I'm advertising to multiple platforms. So like it actually
I mean, it helps you on the business side of things as well. Because, like, say, I don't know, 50% of all new people coming to the Discord have, like, the TikTok role. It shows that your reach on TikTok's more powerful than, say, I don't know, Twitter or Instagram, things like that.
Yeah. And then there's one role that's like, they're here from the ESO streams, and it's, like, the most popular role. It's like, damn, all right, ESO, really pulling in the numbers. ESO command and YouTube seems really, huh? It's weird. All right, in okay, so like in Twitch, yeah, in Twitch chat it works. That's cool. In YouTube chat it doesn't work, really? Huh? That's weird.
I have signed in. I'm on the dashboard now. Where do you want me to go?
Okay, so on the dashboard, what I want you to do is there should be a feature on the front of the page, or on like the homepage that says Study Now, and you should be able to go to that.
Yep, Study Now.
Okay, and then there'll be like questions that come up. So you can just like read me the prompt, so like the subject matter, chapter, and the question, and then I'll try to answer, and then you can click on it, and it'll show you the answer.
Okay, cool. So first off, let me see. So legal profession, reasoning, and rhetoric. McLean. Rule 1.16: declining or terminating representation. When may a lawyer withdraw from representing a client?
They can withdraw from representing a client as long as they do so in the way which incurs the least amount of harm to a client.
Wow, that's a big answer.
Oh, damn. All right. It's hard to tell because sometimes the questions, I feel like that's like the spirit of the answer, but like sometimes the questions have like 5-prong answers. So, all right. I imagine that I probably failed this. So just tell me what the answer is.
Yeah, it's a long prong. I'll just read out the entire thing and then you can take from that what you will. So, except as stated in paragraph C, a lawyer may withdraw from representing a client if withdrawal can be accomplished without material adverse effect on the interests of the client persists in a course of action involving the lawyer's services that the lawyer reasonably believes is criminal or fraudulent, the client has used the lawyer's services to perpetuate crime or fraud, the client insists upon taking an action that the lawyer considers repugnant or with which the lawyer has a fundamental disagreement, the client fails substantially to fulfill an obligation to the lawyer regarding the lawyer's services and has been given reasonable warning that the lawyer will withdraw unless the obligation is fulfilled, the representation will result in an unreasonable financial burden on the lawyer or has been rendered unreasonably difficult by the client, or finally, other good cause with withdrawal access.
All right, this is going to take me a while to memorize. Yeah, could we go through each one of those and just kind of like talk about them like one by one? Sure. Okay,
yeah. So
Joe, first one.
First one, with a withdrawal can be accomplished without material adverse effect on the interests of the client.
Okay, see, that one is basically what I said initially. I mean, I left out material adverse effect because like that's the very specific legal language. Material just mean like in some way that is like demonstrably measurable, and adverse negative. So that tracks. What's the one after that?
Okay, so number two, the client persists in a course of action involving the lawyer's services that the lawyer reasonably believes is criminal or fraudulent.
Wait, say that again. I think I understand the concept, but I just need to process that again. So say it again.
Yeah, the client persists in a course of action involving the lawyer's services that the lawyer reasonably believes is either criminal or fraudulent.
Okay. That's essentially just to say that like a lawyer is allowed to rescind their services if they reasonably believe that they're being used for criminal purposes. Which that makes sense. Okay. What's the one after that?
Number three is somewhat similar. The client has used the lawyer's services to perpetuate a crime or a fraud.
Yeah, that's the same thing essentially.
Yeah. So number four, the client insists upon taking action that the lawyer considers repugnant or with which the lawyer has a fundamental disagreement.
This is one I remember learning about it. So like if it sounds like it's kind of vague language, it kind of is because it's kind of like a catch-all. Also, there's been a lot of, I believe that there's precedent about how this involves like people of minority status historically. Because like, when you're defining like, you have a lawyer, but you're engaging in something that they define as repugnant. Well, what does repugnant mean to someone who's incredibly bigoted, So there's like a decent amount of, but usually, I don't know, like the reason that this rule exists is because like, if there's something that like a lawyer so fundamentally disagrees with that they like on a very basic moral level, then it's really hard to keep them like to justify keeping them retained because you probably want someone who's going to defend you to the best of their ability. And that person probably will not. That's my understanding of the justification there. But yeah, if it feels kind of like a wibbly wobbly catch-all, then it's because it is.
I'm guessing a lot of weight is placed on the term fundamental.
Yeah. It's one of the, I don't know, like these are kind of terms of art. I mean, like there's a lot of case law interpreting them, but it goes back and forth. And like when you have like, so cases involving violations of ethical rules don't actually go before a court per se. They go before an ethical board, before like usually like the ABA or the American Bar Association, right? These kind of cases depend like almost solely on the individual facts of each case. So it's really hard to predict how it's going to go over until you actually get there. Yeah. So you better have a good reason if you're citing that one.
Okay, so number five, the client fails substantially to fulfill an obligation to the lawyer regarding the lawyer's services and has been given reasonable warning that the lawyer will withdraw unless the obligation is fulfilled.
Yeah, it's basically like, listen, if your lawyer tells you like 30 times over that you, what's a really good example? If your lawyer tells you like a ton, like, hey, you need to send me these necessary documents. I need these in order to be able to proceed with the court, with this trial, and you just don't, then it's like the lawyer's hands are basically tied. Like and there's no reason for them to keep involved with a client who is going to make their job basically impossible,
So number six, the representation will result in an unreasonable financial burden on the lawyer or has been rendered unreasonably difficult by the client.
Yeah, unreasonable is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, but I mean, like, it's probably the best term to be able to use. Basically, it's just saying that, like, hey, in order to be able to continue this case, I would have to, like, sell my house. I just can't do it, Like, at that point, it's like, even if you end up winning and you get, like, the money back and then some, it's reasonable for a lawyer to be like, I'm not going to risk my fucking house on this, Yeah.
Would this also include high-profile cases where the lawyer may be put in financial ruin because they took on the case?
I think so. Yeah. Like, if, for example, if you take on like a really like you said, like a really high profile case where it's incredibly controversial and to get involved in and of itself would end up causing a financial ruin. Like I don't know, like, I don't know, think like the most controversial person ever going to trial and you were forced and they asked you to defend them, right? Let's say it's like you went to trial to defend, like let's say that like a Hitler asks you to defend him at trial, at like Nuremberg trials. You know, you might very well just be like, oh, fuck that. Not defending Hitler at trial. You might be paying me all the money in the world. I'm not going to do it because that's going to just ruin me for the rest of my life. You know, the person who defended Hitler at trial. Oh, fuck that. You know, like that kind of.
Basically the plot of Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks. During like the Red Scare in America. The plot is basically they find a communist spy for the USSR, and he has to defend him. And all that. Anyway.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So number 7, or other good cause for withdrawal exists. So just a catch.
Oh yeah, another catch-all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What would you, out of 5?
Give me like a 1. I got one of those sorta.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Okay, so civil procedures. How definite, clear does a pleading need to be under Rule 10b?
Reasonably clear enough to be able to say the cause of action.
The answer is a complaint needs to be a literary gem, as long as the defendant can figure it out.
Oh yeah. That's basically all right. So that's essentially it, because like the requirements to be able to state a cause, like the requirements for pleading are to be able to like reasonably state a cause of action. That basically means that like it doesn't have to be like super perfect. It doesn't have to be like, oh, you know, like this is the most amazing piece of this is like the most well put together, articulate piece of information that's ever been made before. You know, as long as it's reasonably understandable, then and the judge can like suss out what the plaintiff is trying to say or the defendant is trying to say, then, you know, they'll try to extend some leeway. Like, believe it or not, like, especially in civil procedure, the court actually makes like a lot of effort to try and make things as accessible as possible to the average lay person. Like, it does kind of acknowledge that, like, all right, listen, there's a really different standard that we want to have for like how lawyers interact with this stuff versus how like a lay person interacts with this stuff, right? Which I think is kind of cool. The problem is just that like it extends some charitability. The best place in the law where it extends this charitability is in contract law, in my opinion. Where like contract law, like basically the law kind of like begins with what a reasonable assumption is about like what would constitute like an enforceable agreement. Like if you want to, and I'm not giving you all legal advice, chat, I'm not. But like if you want to, like you can form a contract, a legally binding contract using just a napkin, as long as you meet as long as you satisfy all of the other conditions for forming a contract, right? Like there have been cases where people have literally used napkins to be able to form legally binding contracts and take them to court and have them enforced, you know? Like the court will acknowledge that like in a lot of places in the real world, like it, you know, like it's not like everyone is able to hire a lawyer and be able to like do these really fancy bargains or whatever. Offer consideration and acceptance. Wait a second, hold on. I think that's all of it, but I feel like I'm missing something. I was taught like, hold on. Just so I don't get tripped up on this, let me get my contracts outline. Someday I'll just make these public, but I base all my flashcards off of my outlines, so it's like it doesn't matter as much.
See, I feel like notes are very personal in that I always feel like if I release my notes, it's immediately criticized for the structure.
Oh, see, I'm
messy.
Oh, see, I'm OCD, and I made my outlines like as organized as possible. Like every single fact is like question, answer, bolded, citate, like everything you could possibly want. Let's see, was a contract. Hold on, how do you determine? What are 3 different ways? Was format. All right, here we go. A manifestation of mutual assent to a bargain. All right, so it's offer and acceptance. Essential terms, which is subject matter, including quantity, parties, price, and time. And then consideration, which is each party forfeiting a legal right in exchange. There you go. Yeah, that is the totality of what you need. Again, I'm not giving you legal advice. People who are watching, don't go out saying, "Oh, Riley told me on a live stream legal advice. This is all I needed." Right? We're just learning, educational purpose, right? Technically, every receipt is a contract. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, to my knowledge, that is true. But yeah, like a manifestation of mutual assent, offer and acceptance. That just means like, and that doesn't require like a verbal offer and acceptance. It's just like, usually, dawn of the final day. I found this. Oh, nice. Yeah. It's the final day of Pride Month, right? It's like an offer and acceptance are usually defined as like, are usually defined in terms of mutual objective manifestations of assent to be bound to the terms. By that meaning, basically, like, again, we're bringing in this term of reasonable, right? Oh, RGR say I should buy a house from a guy with napkins. Zitch, I will fucking murder you. Anyway, so it's like, essentially, like, doing anything which would lead an average reasonable person to believe that you are either making a formal offer or accepting an offer, right? God damn it, Socks. So like a really good example that was brought up in like my class. I'm sorry, I'm doing I'm doing a law thing. A really good example is like if you are in our country and someone says, "Hey, I want to make you X offer. Do you accept?" And you nod your head. That's taken by the average reasonable person in our society to mean yes, and that you are assenting. You don't say yes, but you are assenting. That's like a reasonable acknowledgement of acceptance, right? But like, let's say that you were to travel to, let's say that all else was equal, but we happen to live in a society where shaking your head actually meant no, right? In that instance, even though you're shaking your head, which we would assume to be yes here, then like in that instance, like if we go to another society, like that action, even though you're not saying yes, since you're not saying yes, would actually mean no, right? It's the exact same action, just like a different societal context to how to interpret that action, you know?
Is that where the Canadian context comes in for isn't it the sorry law or something like that? Because it's so ingrained in Canadian culture to say sorry all the time, you can't take that as a acknowledgement of guilt or wrongdoing in certain.
Oh shit, contexts. Really? I didn't know that, but that would make sense, right? Yeah, like I think that's a really good example. If that, like, taking that to be the case, right? Like essentially, like you can't reasonably, like if you were, like if someone, let's say that someone from Canada. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure that the law is like a little fidgety. All right, so let's change up the circumstance. So let's say that like someone from Canada comes to the U.S. and they enter an agreement with someone about whether or not they should buy a car. And someone makes an offer like, "Hey, do you want to buy this car?" And the Canadian says, "Oh, sorry." And then otherwise does everything that would lead someone to believe that they were buying a car. Like they make the payment, they take the keys. I'm pretty sure in U.S. law, they would still be acknowledged to have made that arrangement. Because I'm pretty sure that like the law doesn't care as much in this respect about your intent, but cares more about like what an average reasonable person would surmise from your actions, right? I'll have to follow up on that one because I think that law may vary a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's the case where the law tends to care more about like, you know, if you're in a certain societal context, are you conforming with like the norms of that societal context in terms of offer and acceptance? Oh yeah, interesting. But yeah, so but if we were to go to like another country where, you know, like let's say that we were going to Canada and they have, let's assume for the sake of argument that they have like very similar contract law, then in that case, then you probably would have like an instance where that just wouldn't matter that much. Oh wait. Yeah, so actually, so here, fuck, I fucked up the hypothetical because I said that they otherwise did everything that would lead an average reasonable person to expect that they accepted. So like if they said sorry and nothing else, they didn't do anything else, then we would probably assume that they didn't actually assent to the terms of the contract. Whereas if they were in Canada, then we would assume that they did. I'm sorry, I botched that a little bit there at the end. Contract law. But anyway, okay, I'm probably ready for the next one. Yeah.
Okay. So hold on. You got like 4, 5, right? Because you basically got that.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, give me a 4.
Okay. Next question. Civil procedures. What are the 3 different ways that a defendant could respond to a complaint?
3 different ways a defendant could respond. Fuck, there's specific terms here, but I can't remember them. They could basically either respond with an answer. They could respond with an answer plus an amendment or something else. I can't remember what it is, so I'm gonna take the L. What's the answer?
It was pretty close. So first one is with an answer. Second is with a pre-answer motion, not a pleading. And then the third is just by not responding at all.
Oh, okay. You can give me like a 2.
Okay. Legal profession, reasoning, and rhetoric. What are the specific rules for a lawyer to become a certified specialist?
This is a laundry list answer, and I hate it. So I'm just going to take the L on this one. Please explain it to me, Professor.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay, so this rule permits a lawyer to state that the lawyer is certified as a specialist in a field of law if such certification is granted by an organization approved by an appropriate authority of a state, the District of Columbia, or a U.S. territory, or accredited by the American Bar Association or another organization, such as a state Supreme Court or state bar association, that's been approved by the authority of the state, the District of Columbia, or the U.S.
Okay, so basically they just have to present the appropriate documentation from a trustworthy source, and then just list out a bunch of trustworthy sources. Okay, give me a 0. We'll come back to that one, I'm sure.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Criminal law. What does it mean to interpret a statute according to, oh god, Latin, nocister a socis, I want to say. Let me Google Translate this.
Can you spell it out?
I tried to, but I clicked on the thing and it just went away. Hold on. I found it. Google helped me. Why doesn't Translate allow me to... Oh, hang on, I can just put it in chat. You'll know what it says. There you go.
Nasser. Fuck. I used to be really good on this Latin. Hold on. Give me a second. I used to be fantastic. This is a contracts question, right? Or is it contracts or is it criminal law?
Criminal law.
All right. Okay, it's criminal law. Can you tell me what the Latin means? I'm not sure if that'll give away too much.
I can. The Latin translates to, it is recognized by partners.
I'm sorry, wait, say that again?
It translates to, it is recognized by partners.
Recognized by partners.
It is known by its associates.
Known by its associates. Fuck. I can't. I feel like it has to do with... there's just a couple different types of interpretations, and one interpretation has to do with like how it's known in other courts. I think that's it, but I can't remember for sure. So I'll just take the L. You can tell me.
Okay, so the answer is... the answer states known by its associates. Mm-hmm. If a word or phrase is ambiguous or unclear, then its meaning should be determined by reading it in context with surrounding words and phrases.
Yes! Oh my god. Yeah, all right. That clicks.
That was my bad on that one.
No. That's my bad. I mean, basically, all right. So when so this has to do with like when you interpret a law, when you're trying to like interpret the plain meaning, like when you're just reading a law and you're trying to interpret its plain meaning, right? And so like if there's like a specific word, if you're doing a plain meaning approach to that law, then you should probably interpret it in context with the other laws around it. And this isn't necessarily like a lot of the ways that they interpret laws are not necessarily like there's no one objectively correct way to do it, but there are some ways that are better than others. And so this is like usually like the first place that people go is like, all right, is something not clear in the part of the law? Well, you should probably look at other parts of the law. That makes sense. Fuck. This is all right. This is good that we're doing this right now because like I'm rusty. Okay. Yeah, you can give me a 0.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm sorry. I'm a terrible law student.
Oh god, you'd think I'd know some Latin by now. Like half of academia loves being obsessed with Latin. Anyway, civil procedures.
Okay.
Can a plaintiff obtain personal jurisdiction over an out-of-state corporation by serving the company's executive while she's traveling in the forum?
Fuck, this is hard. I want to say no, but I don't have a good reason why.
Okay. Did you want me to give you the...
Yeah, you can give me the answer.
Okay, so you are correct. It is no.
Yeah, but I can't give you a good reason why, because I'm pretty sure that you are allowed to serve agents of a corporation if they're within the venue. But I just remembered this question. I was like, I know from muscle memory that this doesn't fit the criteria somehow, but I can't remember how.
Okay, so courts have consistently held that a plaintiff cannot obtain personal jurisdiction over a corporation by serving an officer of that corporation who happens to be in the forum state. And then it goes on to say, jurisdiction over a corporation of one state cannot be acquired in another state or district in which it has no place of business and is not found, merely by serving process upon an executive officer temporarily therein, even if he is there on business of the company.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So basically, like, in order to be able to serve a corporation, the main things are like they have to do business. At least in order to be able to get personal jurisdiction, they have to do business in the forum that you're trying to serve them in, and they also have to be in some way like located there. Some people argue that like by doing business you are located there, but like if you have someone who's like let's say that you have like a representative who's like driving through a state and you try to like catch them as they're driving through the state, but they're not otherwise trying to do business in that state, then like that won't cut it on its own. Okay, cool.
Do you want a 3 for that? I mean, you did get it right, but just difficult to recall.
Yeah, you can give me a 3, sure.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, it also gives you a tip. This approach makes sense given that a corporation has a legal status that is distinct from the legal status of its employees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you've got a hypothetical. Torts.
Amazing.
Let's assume that Dylan and Ryan are high school students and rivals for the attentions of Ashley. Assume that Dylan shoots at Ryan, intending to miss him, but to scare the heck out of him. However, Dylan's stoned, and he hits Ashley instead of missing. Dylan might argue that he did not intend to strike Ashley. Will Dylan's arguments prevail?
No, absolutely not. He's acted absolutely negligently.
No, if Dylan intends to scare Ryan but hits Ashley, his intent to commit an assault on Ryan will transfer to complete the tort of battery on Ashley.
Oh, okay. This was specifically about that. All right, you can give me a 3 because like this was specifically a battery question, but like the answer, like for people who aren't here, like the answer should obviously be yes, and like the easy one is like, all right, listen, you don't like even if you cause some harm to someone else, you like even if you didn't intend to harm them, we can obviously hold you culpable, you know. But yeah, so like that's how it plays in with battery. Is that like specifically like if you had the intent to harm someone else and you happen to harm the other person, then we could probably still hold you culpable for like battery in this instance, because of the principle of like transferred intent, right? Like you did intend to cause a battery to someone. It just happened that you caused it to the wrong person than what you intended. Okay, so you can give me a 3 or a 4. Just because like I got the right answer, but I could have done better about like articulating why that was the right answer.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, you got another hypothetical. Criminal law again. Criminal law, sorry. Result elements and the cause requirement. So, defendant hypnotized killer. While killer was in a hypnotic state, defendant suggested that killer strangled to death defendant's arch-rival victim. The next day, killer surprises victim at his home and strangles him to death. Defendant is prosecuted for murder in the death of victim. Can he be convicted?
Can you say that again?
Yep. So, defendant hypnotized killer. While killer was in a hypnotic state, defendant suggested that killer strangled to death defendant's arch-rival victim. The next day, killer surprises victim at his home and strangles him to death. Defendant is prosecuted for murder in the death of victim. can he be convicted?
Not for murder. He doesn't have the mens rea.
Okay. The answer is yes, because killer's strangling victim was not a voluntary act.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who are we talking about? Who can be like, who are we prosecuting? The hypnotist or the strangler?
It doesn't make clear. While killer was in a hypnotic state, defendant suggested the killer strangled to death defendant's arch-rival victim. The next day, killer surprises victim in his home. The defendant who hypnotized the killer is the one asking, can he be convicted?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What was the explanation it gave? So, like, it wasn't a voluntary. Yeah, because the killer's action was an involuntary act. Yeah. Yeah, totally. So if you, like, it doesn't matter if you're, like, the person who directly causes a murder. If you, like, set into motion the chain of events which would reasonably lead to someone's death than you otherwise. So, like, just for people to quickly summarize, murder is the unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought, right? Unlawful, easy enough here. You're not a cop and you don't, I don't know, public killing. Like, it's very rare to be able to have, like, lawful killings outside of, like, law enforcement and self-defense. Unlawful killing, there's a dead body, yes. Of another, yes. And then with malice aforethought, like, that goes to mens rea. And here it's like, yeah, there's clearly mens rea. You're right. You're getting another person to take the life of another person unlawfully. So yeah, like, as long as you have those things, and it doesn't matter if you're going through another third party, like, you can absolutely be charged for murder. This is the reason why, like, for example, if you, let's say that I, Riley, kidnapped you, Scott, your family, and I told you I am going to murder your entire family if you do not go out and kill the president of the United States. All right, if you go out and you murder the president of the United States, you have a really good defense at court to say that, listen, I was forced to. I didn't have a choice. Riley was going to murder my family. And then I, conversely, could be charged for murdering the president because, like, I am the one who set that chain of events into motion and actually, like, forced you to do that, basically. Yeah. It's an extreme hypothetical, but, like, you know, that's the idea, right? Like just because you don't actually, like, pull the trigger doesn't mean you can't be charged for murder.
The hypothetical is an interesting one. I wonder has anyone ever actually been convicted of attempting to hypnotize? Like, is that even a...
I'm not sure. Like, law school has, like, a lot of, like, interesting, wacky, like hypotheticals just to be able to, like, test these concepts. Hypnotism is the easiest one just for like one else to be able to understand, because it's, like, very clear that, like, all right, assuming it to be true, then the person who went out and did the thing didn't have, like, any, like, real mental state of their own choosing, you know, in terms of committing that act, right? So, like, so that's the easiest one to go with. I'm trying to think of, like, another example that was, like, used in my exam. Oh, I think that one really common example is when, let's say that you have someone. Here's an example that was given to me. Okay. Let's say that you have a friend who goes to you and confesses and like talks to you about, like, oh shit, you know, I just found out that my significant other was cheating on me. I'm really bent up about it. I have no idea how to feel about it. What do I do, friend? And you, as the friend, decide to tell the friend who's venting to you, well, you give your friend a gun. You're like, go murder that person. There's a really good likelihood that you will be probably charged if that friend then goes out and murders the other person. They'll be charged too with murder, but you will probably also be charged either with, like, a complicity crime and also with murder. Because you kind of set that chain of events into motion, by which someone ended up having their life taken from them, and you operated with, like, malice aforethought, unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought, right? That's, like, a much more realistic example, and that happens pretty often, right? Where it's like, you know, you may not be the person who pulls the trigger, but you, like, get another person to, or you set that chain of events into reasonably into motion, where another person ends up completing the crime. So yeah, that's like that's probably like a much more common example of that. Or let's say, here's another fun example. Let's say that someone goes to a doctor. I'm also sorry. You can ask me about any of these as we're going through. Let's say that someone goes to a doctor. This is a really interesting one. Let's say that someone goes to the doctor, and the doctor decides, you know what? Fuck this person. I'm going to give them cancer. And the doctor gives them a pill that actually gives them cancer. They don't die immediately, but 9 months later, after everything that they tried to do, they die from the cancer, right? There's a really good case that the doctor could be tried for murder, right? Because it's unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought. He absolutely intended in that instance, or she, or whoever the doctor is, absolutely intended for that person that they treated to die. And they set that chain of events into motion. Like, there's 100% a case there, right? Even though it doesn't happen immediately.
Is this not the doctor example? That is like almost identical to the DuPont crisis, right?
What happened there?
A factory basically was intentionally polluting the water supply of a town in America. They knew that they were doing it, and they knew that there was harmful repercussions in terms of health consequences from doing that.
Oh, fuck.
They didn't die immediately, but a lot of people in this town were getting, I think it was cancer, eventually from this polluting.
Fuck, yeah. So it's hard there because, like, there are, like, when you're a corporation, and the law can get really tricky here, so when you have a corporation, the main benefit to having a corporation is that it helps you escape liability, right? As someone who's like an owner or a participator in the corporation. That's like whenever someone has a corporation, that's like the main benefit of getting one, is that it helps you escape legal liability. Otherwise, everyone just do everything on their own. And so, like, when you start like having things like this happen through business decisions, and this is also the reason why there's a lot of corporations in the world, and this is like a really fucked up thing, right? But this is the reason why there's a lot of corporations that end up doing like really shady shit, is because they're able to reasonably escape liability, at least personally. The corporation may get sued, and they may even experience like a lot of worse things that'll happen to them. But but the people who actually are running it will face normally will face limited repercussions, as long as they're able to reasonably justify that they didn't think that they were acting unlawfully and that they thought they were acting in the best interest of the company. I believe that's the standard for people, for like agents of the company or people who are running the company, to be able to escape personal liability, right? It's like, as long as they can reasonably justify, listen, like, I'm just operating in the best interest of the company. I don't think that we're causing harm as far as I'm aware. They may be lying through their teeth, but, like, that's, I believe, usually where the battleground is to be had. Under Canadian law, you absolutely would be charged under party to offense section for giving it. Oh, interesting. Yeah. But, no, so, like, here, so, like, with what you're describing, like, it probably depends on, like, in terms of, like, whether or not criminal liability applies. Again, we're not doing legal advice. We're just talking educational, just about the law. We're just all learning about the law, right? There's probably going to depend a lot on, like, how, like, to what extent the people who ran that, so, like, the executive director and the people who are on the board were aware of the negative effects of what they were doing and continued to do stuff anyway. That would probably be the place where that's probably where that legal battle will be fought.
It's interesting. I just looked it up now, and the polluting the DuPont case. I think there were 3 plaintiffs that were awarded multi-million-dollar settlements because it was found that their cancers were caused by, what's the term? I lost it. They basically showed intent or knowledge of what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
It was interesting because the DuPont case, there's 2 separate ones. So there's the classic polluting the water supply, giving people cancer thing, which was like the most controversial. But they also had, back in the day, they were the largest producer of chlorofluorocarbons, which is like chemicals that very harshly deplete the ozone layer. And it's interesting, an element of environmental law that's probably coming in quite heavily nowadays is the idea of these industries, and particularly these corporations or people that have massively depleted the ozone and environments around it, there are now deaths caused by environmental collapse in certain areas, and whether they can be held accountable for that after the fact.
This is something we'll talk. Hold on, let me bring up my torts outline. So this is interesting because I'm not sure we'll be able to get into criminal liability with this, but I think that we can reasonably talk about something called. So it's like a tort. So here, let me get my torts outline up from, oh my god, 2 years ago. Time flies. On where are you? Bop. Contributory negligence. I thought that there's like a specific place. Oh, yeah. All right. So basically, like, when we're talking about causation, there's like a theory. So there used to be something that's not used as much anymore called enterprise liability, which exists, although technically as a valid doctrine has not been applied after 1992. But there's something called like market share liability, which is basically say like, if you're able to successfully sue an entire market for basically all in the same way acting contributorily negligent to cause the same kind of outcome. It's interesting because right now, the primary example of this is like pollution and global warming, right? Like when you have an entire market that's contributing towards the same tort, arguably, then like right now, the prevailing idea for how you hold each individual person liable, like let's say we were able to construct a hypothetical where you're able to sue just like all the companies or like all the major ones that produce, right? Let's say we have like 10 companies that produce the vast majority of all pollution in the world. But like they each produce like varying degrees. Like the number one produces like half of it, and then number two produces like 10, and then 5, and so on. Market share liability. Well, actually, hold on. Enterprise liability. Well, hold on. Market share liability. I guess it would actually hold on. I guess that this would go towards like their market share. So it's like the person who like holds the predominant share of the market would be the one who's held liable predominantly, and then like the one who's like after that, it's probably going to correlate with how much they actually pollute. So like the person who pollutes 50% is probably going to hold the vast majority of the market share. Yeah. I guess that you'd have to go towards like a theory of like, there's like there's like several theories of causation, but like it's really, the idea is that like it's really, really hard to sue like multiple corporations in a single lawsuit, right? You'd probably go towards market share liability just because like enterprise liability does exist, but it hasn't been used for a while.
Interesting.
E.
We got another hypothetical, which is actually kind of hilarious. All right. It's torts. The reasonable person. So Mitch is driving home to visit his grandparents. Mitch is not the smartest guy. While Mitch is driving, he sees snow on the ground. Mitch has never seen snow before and believes it to be crack cocaine. He gets excited, speeds up, and hits a police officer by accident. He said he did the best he could. Is he negligent?
Yes, because he didn't act in the way that any reasonable person would be expected to act. Absolutely negligent. Doesn't matter if you're a dumbass.
Yes, an objective standard for a reasonably prudent person would not take into account his lack of intellect.
Yep. It's what the average. This is why the average reasonable person standard is needed people, because they're dumbasses that aren't reasonable out there.
These hypotheticals are bringing me back to I can't remember what the term is, but like in philosophy, like ethical philosophy especially, there are professors that devote their entire lives, I call them troll professors, like their entire job is to construct these absurd hypotheticals to try and test people's consistencies within their philosophical frameworks. I think like Jonathan Haidt is one of these people. It's slightly controversial, but yeah, he spends like most of his day like trying to think of the most absurd, ridiculous hypotheticals that he can think of.
Interesting. Is he the one who wrote The Righteous Mind? Why good people disagree in politics, or is that a different Jonathan Haidt? I feel like there's
that's the same one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I had to read that before I started on my course here. I've actually met him before. He's interesting.
What's he like? I mean, like, I don't know much about him outside the book, and like, I like the book. Like, it's decent.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I met him. He was booked by my undergrad university before I went to on a trip to Israel Palestine, and he was booked as like a guy to give you not a detail of like the history of the region, but just like how people construct beliefs and values and things like that. Because like his whole big thing is like liberal conservatives have completely different ways of constructing rational arguments for things, because they base things on different belief systems. I think it's like the 5. I can't remember what it is now. I haven't read him in a long time, but no, he was really interesting to talk to and everything. I don't know where. I can't remember where the controversy from him comes from exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm trying to be like more hesitant, because I mean, like if there are valid criticisms of him, then it's worth exploring. It's just that like I've become a lot more wary when people are just like, oh, X person is bad without explaining it, because I'm learning that there are a lot of people who people call like, oh, this is a terrible, awful fascist, whatever, and like it turns out that it usually is overblown, and I just want to make sure that like I actually know why I'm criticizing someone before I criticize them. Yeah, because otherwise, or sorry, what?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because otherwise I like the book. It was good.
I think it's a good book. Yeah, it's a nice read. But yeah, it's just like why I like the department I'm at now, right? Because a lot of the books that I'm reading are like by quote unquote very controversial figures, and it's nice because you get to talk about them and critically discuss them rather than rejecting them out of hand. Like I think I said in chat the other day, like I've taken a couple of sociogenomics courses, which is like genetics basically, and one of the first books that they make you read, or like excerpts from it, is the bell curve, and they like make you understand why this science is bad.
Oh, cool.
From like an empirical and methodological point of view. It's not just thing is racist, because that we call those like black boxes. Like racism in of itself is not an explanation of why something is that way. There's always a further why to that.
Yeah. No, that makes, like, I think that's absolutely true. I mean, like, I think of this in terms of, I worry that I overuse this term, but I feel like this applies here. Like, I just don't want people I don't want to cultivate a community that ends up being morally lucky, and like they get to the right answers, but they aren't able to reasonably articulate why they get to the right answers, right? Because that seems to be like a big problem online. Like a lot of people watch like one ContraPoints video and they take away like, sure, the main conclusion, hooray. A lot of those people probably already fundamentally agreed with her, although she does change minds. But like when you're actually pressed on those people after, they aren't actually able to reasonably articulate like any of the arguments that Natalie gave to get to her conclusions. A really good example is I recently figured this out when I was going through the whole gender arc and people are constantly citing Wittgenstein. I was like, where is everyone getting this argument? And I went back and it turns out that literally, and I'm reasonably sure of this, like this is my prevailing theory, in Natalie's J.K. Rowling video, there was one time where she made one aside comment, like a 2-second aside comment about, maybe some questions are never meant to be answered. That's what Wittgenstein says. And that's literally all that she says about it. And then everyone ran with it. Just like, oh, therefore, that must mean that this is a question that doesn't need to be answered, and anyone who tries to answer it is a bigot, racist, transphobe, whatever. And it's just like, and so I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, no, I really like the way that your department approaches it, where it's like, it's good to know like why something is bad beyond just like the fact that it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the department's not perfect. There are some issues, but oh well. I think online, especially when talking about what you're saying with creating online communities that criticize and try to challenge why it is we think the way we are, it's really hard to. There are two extremes to it. In the one you've just articulated, in that people can just be morally lucky. They can just watch something that they like because they feel like they like it, and then they just adopt the views of that person or content creator. I think on the other hand, you've got the ultimate contrarians, or maybe the debate bro culture is probably best to articulate in that way. Like people that don't care about the positions that they hold. They want to hold extreme positions just so that they can create the most or challenge themselves almost. It's almost like the sophists of old, where like most of these sophists didn't actually hold any political or normative positions, but they held these positions because they wanted to make it a challenge for themselves. Can they hold these positions and not be defeated in the world of like rhetoric by other sophists?
Yeah. No, I get that. It kind of makes me worried. I don't know. One person who I kind of worry about a little bit is like, Mouthy Infidel on Twitter. Where just like I agree with him on like a lot of things that we say, like we inhabit very similar spheres and argue very similar things, but it seems like he's just like constantly picking fights. And some people might look at me and be like, Riley, you're constantly picking fights. So where I would say, no, I really do try to not to. It's just that they keep finding their ways to me. But like he's someone who will go out there and like actively like be like, hey, you know, I just want to debate people on abortion or whatever, or I just want to debate people on veganism. Come at me, right? It's just like it's not healthy, and it does make it seem like, you know, I'm sure that he there are a lot of things that he argues for that he does believe, but like it's weird that he's kind of using it as like this bargaining chip, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna debate as many people to try and like own people or whatever. So like I just worry about him in kind of the respect that you're describing. And yeah, I think that there are a lot of other people online who fit that description. Whether it be that they just want the position because like they just want to win at debates, quote unquote, whatever that means, or because like they're ideologues and they, you know, ascribe to a certain set of beliefs, and regardless of to the extent to which all of those beliefs are correct, but because they're ascribing to like a set number of beliefs, and they're going to like defend each of them regardless of their merits, you know.
Ironically, where a lot of this culture comes from, it's almost like the old argument of money in politics. Like it's really strange, like because there is this value, this monetary value coming from being a commentator on these issues now, it incentivizes you taking these positions that you might not even agree with, but you do it for argument's sake so that you can do it for an entertainment value. I know it's like an exhausted topic in like creator-based communities of like, do I want to be educational or do I want to be an entertainment value from it? And like, can I combine the two?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Like it's really, and this is why I'm always like constantly thinking about what I do. It's nice because right now, like I try to monetize my content, but I'm always like, I'm fortunate to be in the position where my livelihood does not depend on how much money I make here. And otherwise, like, sure, I'm a law student and, you know, I'm dealing with, you know, it's not exactly like I'm living in luxury right now, right? But I'm not under this situation where it's like, if I do not succeed, I won't be able to like make rent, you know? I'm not like operating in like a survival based mindset. So it's not like I have to focus on like, oh, getting the most clicks with my content. But rather I can focus on, you know, like trying to create the highest quality content I can, kind of irregardless of how much money I make from it. To use Natalie as an example, just because I'm close to her and I have this perspective that other people don't. So I feel like I'm able to learn a lot from it. She's actually interesting because like she doesn't really care that much at all about how much money she makes, right? Like she gets a ton of money from her Patreon. She doesn't invest any of it. I tell her to, but like ultimately she doesn't really care about that, you know? She cares primarily about creating the highest quality content. Like the things that she is like most proud of. Like that's what she cares most about, you know? Like she's involved in politics, but she has a mindset that's a lot more like an artist. And similarly, right, like I do want to be able to create content which is able to like benefit other people, but that's mostly because I'm interested in creating like the highest quality content. But there are a lot of people, I think, like you said, where it's like they are primarily motivated, not necessarily by creating the highest quality content, but are motivated first by like, oh, I have to make money, or oh, I want to make money. And then like they work backwards from there. And so like if there's certain kinds of content that they may not want to make or may not feel comfortable making, but which will end up making them more money than other types of content, which they may want to make, or which they may want to make, or which they may feel like more ethically sound with, then they're going to focus on the thing that's going to get them more money as opposed to the thing that they want to do or that would be more ethical, you know?
Yeah, and I think at a certain level, Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not a content creator, so I can't judge anyway. But like, it's an interesting thing to think about from the idea of like intent on what are these people wanting to do with their content.
Mhm.
So like, obviously, you've spoken before how you want to be in like public office one day. So that, I'm guessing, has naturally steered your content in a certain direction compared to someone that, I don't know, wants to stream for their like full-time job, or like they want it to be what their job is as an end goal. And so I think that also tailors their content as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's true. And like, I don't know, it's hard because like I do, again, I say this and I know that I'm throwing stones from a glass house here. Like I do genuinely try to not be like as combative online. I know that some people will disagree with me on that and they'll be like, Riley, you're one of the most combative people online. I would say that that's because people find their ways to me and I am going to defend myself. But, you know, like I don't go out like how a lot of people do, like, oh, I'm going to challenge this person to do a debate and I'm going to own them. I'm going to crush them in the battleground of ideas, right? Like, no, you know, like I'm primarily motivated by like, you know, I want to like just, you know, I guess that like insofar as like my political platform is concerned, like I want to kind of like be able to figure out, all right, what are the things I want to be able to support? What are the policy positions I want to take, and what are the best arguments to be able to support those positions and make sure that I can, as soon as I get into a public office, be able to meaningfully achieve those goals, right? Those are the things I'm like primarily focused on.
I think there's a big difference between, bringing it back to like an almost legal metaphor, there's a big difference between going out of your house wearing boxing gloves with the intent to fight someone, whereas you're just walking along the street one day and someone attacks you and you defend yourself. I think that is the two biggest positions, right? Because like the intent to try to fight or try to debate someone because you want to win is very different from holding a position that people may disagree with and you feel every right to defend that position.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, if people, like, it's always really weird to me when people are like, oh, Riley, so I'm kind of like venting right now, so I apologize. It's just that like I'm going through this right now, but it's always really weird to me when people are like, "Oh, Riley, why are you being so harsh with these people online?" Or, "Oh, Riley, you know, you shouldn't respond to these people. They don't like you know, like they don't matter that much." But it's like it's always really weird to me when people say this, because I mean, like I do kind of see it as like, you know, they're like either character assassinating me, where they're trying to like smear me as like some terrible person, true scum, transphobe, whatever, fascist. Like it's always really like there's always like really weird character assassinations, or just like people who disagree with me but don't provide a good reason, and like specifically interact with me. You know, like there's a quote tweet when I put out my most recent short, or like the short on like whether or not gender is a choice, and there were some people who just said no. They didn't bother to elaborate. They didn't bother to say anything more. They were just like no, or oh, this person is not a smart person, or oh, this person doesn't know what she's talking about. It's like, why do you think? Like, do you think it's a good idea to just like what do you think is going to happen if you're gonna quote tweet someone saying something like that who has put in like so much more time into understanding the subject matter than I guarantee the vast majority of you have, right? Like, of course I'm going to defend myself. Of course I'm going to defend my positions. Like, that's what I care about. I care about my positions. And so it's just really weird to see people who are like, oh, don't do anything to defend yourself, Riley. Don't, you know, just submit to the mob. Thank you, Bosch. Appreciate that. It's just I don't know, it's always just weird, really weird to me.
I think it's a matter of like, especially when it's on Twitter or like any like social media platform, there's the qualitative and there's the quantitative. Everyone can empathize with the qualitative not critiques, but like basically backlash from something that you've said. So like if someone says no to you and not responding to things, or like insults you, everyone gets that online, right? And they can always understand that. But I think what a lot of people don't understand is, especially with content creators, the sheer quantity of that amount of response to something. And especially when you yourself know that it is either incorrect or wrong what they are saying, the sheer amount of people saying it is a huge impact. And that's what a lot of people can't empathize with, because they don't have that following.
Yeah, I think that's true. Oh, also, I see you, Michael. So I do think that coming out of this, there is a big lesson that like I am going to be rethinking a little bit of how I engage online. Not to say that I don't defend myself, but I need to figure out like a more cost-effective way for like how to engage. For example, I just can't like, unfortunately, like right now I use Twitter a lot as like a way for me to casually post online, you know, because I am a person and I like having a platform and I like being able to post on it. I think I just have to limit my engagement as much as possible. Like basically just to like formal statements, shorts, and docs, and that's it. And then maybe like retweet people who I follow. Wait, am I taking calls? Oh, no, I probably... Actually, I'm past the point where
we're whenever, by the way.
Yeah, we're half an hour over when I'm supposed to. So no, we'll be taking more calls tomorrow during the first hour of my stream. I'm gonna be starting up earlier. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm gonna have to change like how I interact with people online, because like while I will defend myself, I have to pick my fights a lot better as far as like how often I post, because I think it is the case that like now I'm at a point where for some reason every time I post something, like again with the criteria for following people, I really didn't expect people to have the reaction that they did, and that's kind of like the upsetting thing, is that like I didn't expect the response that I got. Like it's really, really confusing to me, although I do think it ties into something that we were talking about earlier on stream. But anyway, no, I think I'm just gonna have to like limit my engagement with social media a lot more, so that like I pick my fights a lot more carefully, and like my community can also help me a lot, right? Because like, you know, like another big reason that I feel like I have to defend myself is because like I don't really feel like a lot of other people go out and like there. I don't have any reply guys. All right, I have me, myself, and I, and sometimes Pixie will help. Sometimes Layman will be in there. I see them in there pretty often. But like I don't really have any Twitter reply people. You know, I have to build that up. We have to strengthen our Twitter presence. So I'll be figuring out how to like cultivate maybe like a figure out how to get some more of those kinds of people.
I've noticed there's a non-insignificant amount of people now that have they turn off replies to people that they don't follow, and I think they can also turn off quote tweets from people that they don't follow as well.
Oh, really?
Which is an interesting way of dealing with it. Yeah. So like, unless you follow them, someone can't reply to what you've been tweeting, or like can't quote tweet what you've been tweeting.
I actually might be interested in doing that. Maybe I'll put out videos where it's like people can just retweet and like, where they can't like quote tweet or reply. That might be an idea.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I don't use Twitter that much.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have to figure out, because like the problem is that like, yeah, I don't know. I'll just have to mess around a lot more with that, because like I do think that as far as like follows, I feel like I got a pretty good hold on like figuring out how to cultivate a pretty decent like feed for myself, and also like a pretty decent like kind of group online or following or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to limit my interaction generally more. So, all right. Anyway,
okay, I'll leave you be for the rest of your stream.
All right. Hey, thanks for reading flashcards and just for chatting. I really appreciate it.
That's fine. It was cool. Have fun.
Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye. Cult, Kingdom, Fiendom, Dominion. Yeah. Listen, I'm not sure if I want like a cult like what Destiny has, but you know, I would like to be able to have like some kind of thing comparable where it's like other people are able to go out and like defend me when I'm being unreasonably attacked online, because fuck, I just can't do it all the time, right? Like I just can't. I'm one person, you know. I can do a lot. I can't do everything. Is that what the ESO Guild is for? Yeah, that's totally what the ESO Guild is for, right? It's not even like, and I'm not saying for people to go out and like harass anyone. Like obviously they don't go out and harass people, right? But like when people are going out and saying super shit, then call them out for saying super shit, right? Like, yeah. Do you have any debates coming up? Not as far as I'm aware. I mean, like, I don't really schedule debates with other people. I mainly just like the way that I have my stream channel set up, any public figure can join at any time. Any friend can join at any time. And And during the first hour of my streams, like, people who have completed the verification process can call in, right? The problem is the people who think they understand your positions arguing them incorrectly. Well, yeah, no, I get that. But that's why I try to do as much as I can. Like, I have the docs, I have the shorts. Like, it should be, if you go through the verification process, it should be as easy as pie to be able to, you should know exactly what I am thinking, right? Like, there is no reason that you should be in my community where you shouldn't know exactly what my positions are, you know? Or at least that's what I try to do. Like, I try to make it where, like, regardless of whether or not you agree with me, you should know what I believe, right? Like, this isn't asking me, because I'm very specific that, like, you do not have to agree with everything that I say, but you should at least know what my arguments are, so that when people are saying, oh, Riley believes X, you can be able to say, no, Riley doesn't believe X, Riley believes Y, you know? But yeah, I try to make it like that's the reason that the docs are one page, despite the fact that apparently people think that one page is too hard to understand. I don't think that they're too hard to understand. They're one page. I try to make it reasonably clear. And I have videos to explain, like, we're making videos to explain all the parts of the video. Like, we're making, like, I'm trying to make all of this complicated information as accessible as possible. Literally, yeah, it's literally 8 pages in total right now. Like, you can probably read it during lunch. Are you able to put a timer on each of the research docs so people can't spam agree and go through all of them? I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think that I'm able to do all that. It would be a good idea, though, if I was able to, but I don't think that Discord lets me put a timer. Would you suffer from the very real condition? What if you suffer from the very real condition known as goldfish memory? Then go back. Everyone who's completed the verification process can go and access all the docs that they've already agreed to. If you can't remember, or if you get into a discussion where you see someone saying, RGR argues X, and you're like, huh, I know I've read the doc on this before, but I can't remember exactly what she said. Then you can go back and you can read exactly what I said, and you can be like, ah, this is what Riley believes. And then you can even take, like, a screen cap of that, and you can go back and be like, no, this is what Riley believes, right? Like, I try to make that, like, or you can, like, have a link to the video, because we're making videos to explain out all my positions, right? Like, basically all of my public, like, the things I'm really pushing for in public discourse going forward should just be, like, information on what my positions are, so that people have to engage with my positions, as opposed to anything else, right? So you're saying you can read things more than once? Interesting. I know. I know, right? Okay. Bop. All right. Quit. All right, fam. Let's finish a short. Let's do it. Are you ready to do a short, or maybe two? We'll see what we can do. Let's see. Edit stream info. Give me some RGR hypes in chat if you're ready to do a short. Yeah. What up? I'm sorry. Also, I apologize for my face kind of being like bleh. I had electrolysis earlier today because am the trans and do get electrolysis, but I don't know, it's coming along. I feel like I'm getting close to being done with that, and then I never have to worry about that kind of stuff anymore. That'd be great. Yeah. Woo. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Close out of that. Close out of that. Close out of that. And why is my computer so slow? I have no idea why my computer is so slow. I'm going to be looking into that. What does electrolysis do? It's like a way to be able to remove, it's a hair removal procedure. But basically, like, for people who aren't aware, there's two main kinds of hair removal. Well, most of us only watch you for your pretty face, so you better apologize. Okay, come on. That's all right. That's the one thing about the stream that I'm very proud of, is that, like, listen, you know that you aren't getting on here to watch, like, some kind of, like, e-girl has her tits out. Like, oh my God, look at me. It's my best e-girl impression, you know? Like, I get on here, I'm wearing my workout stuff, or my work, or fuck, I don't know. Like, I'm not doing my makeup. I'm just vibing, right? Like, I don't know. So yeah, you can at least be happy that I'm not trying to play up to conventional beauty standards, because, well, I mean, or at least some, like, do whatever makes you personally happy as far as your looks, and don't worry about appealing to the standards that other people put onto you. There, just so people don't misinterpret me, or don't misinterpret me. We live in a society. Yeah, because I don't know. I just dress how I want to, you know? Just present like in the way that makes me most comfortable personally. I like being like a herbo sports gal. All right, let's see. Damn, we're at like 3 minutes. Okay. I really like the RGR Pride emote. It's really good. All right, I'm gonna go make some. I'm gonna make like a popcorn snack really quick. So I'm gonna be back. Turn this up like a little bit. For some reason, it's super quiet. All right. If someone wants to hop into the chat and like talk to people, then you're more than welcome to. Or like a friend or a public figure, whoever. Just don't mess with chat. And also, yeah, chat. Behave yourself. I'll be right back. Oh, people who are watching who haven't done so already, get into the fucking Discord. Hey, Discord chat. For people who are watching right now, make the sell. Get them into the Discord. All right, get them in there. You use some of those animated emotes. All right, get them the fuck in there. Popcorn, subliminal chat influence, maybe. Hey, level 3 in ESO, nice. Yeah, he'll be raiding with us in no time. Amazing. My parents are watching the Handy interview Trump on Fox. Handy interview Trump on Fox. What the fuck is Trump being interviewed about? How is he relevant? Bleh. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it, Marie. All right, anyway, back to where we were. Because I got distracted a lot last time, so I'm going to be focusing. Want to at least complete one clip, if not more.
Real quick on that, real quick on that, I really want to pick up on something that Katie said. I think it was something that Katie said. I think it was Katie that just said it. When Katie said, when we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to kind of like iterate. We were trying to kind of iterate. We were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we need to do? We've got so much interest online, but not many people will show up, right?
Oh, wait, F.
That said, when we that Katie said, when we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we need to do? We've got so much interest online, but not many people will show up, right? You might get like 500 responses on a survey. You might not many people will show up, right? You might get like 500. Not many people will show up, right? Right, you show up, you might get like 500 out. Not many people will show up. You might get 500 responses on a survey. You might get 20 people that actually show up. You might get 20. You might get 20. You might get survey. You might get 20 people. You might get 20 people that actually show up in person. I think show up in person. Show up in person. I think that Katie says something that is unbelievable. Katie says something that is
Hey, have a good night, Murray. Thanks for coming by.
up in person. I think that Katie said something that is unbelievably true, which is Katie said something that is unbelievably true, which is that everybody or a lot of people want to help and they want to do something, but they want to help. A lot of people want to help and they want to do something. They want to help. A lot of people, or a lot of people want.
It's like a random, like, stuttered here. Small cut.
Want to help and they want to help and they want to do something, but they don't always know how.
I might just end the clip there, honestly.
And I notice that sometimes when watching, go campaign for Bernie or go campaign for, a particular candidate. And it's like,
Yeah, honestly, here. Move this to the side. Bring this back here. Let's see how this looks.
I think how to get people involved in things, one of the most useful things I found was where it's, we need to fill in this government submission by this date, or, we need to write a letter or something. And that can seem very intimidating and people don't, they're very keen to help, but they don't know how to do it or what to do. And I've done a couple of live streams where I've just sat down and opened the form up and just talked people through it, like really super simple step by step. This is what I'm writing here. Here's some other things I could consider. This is why I'm not writing this thing. And then just be like, look, that took half an hour or whatever. And I think that's made a big difference because, so many people want to help and just don't know where to start.
Real quick on that, I really want to pick up on something that Katie said. When we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to Real quick on that, I really want to pick up on something that Katie said. When we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we need to do? We've got so much interest online, but not many people will show up. You might get 500 responses on a survey. You might get 20 people that actually show up in person. I think that Katie said something that is unbelievably true, which is that everybody or a lot of people want to help and they want to do something, but they don't always know how.
Let's see if there's like something like 5 seconds to be able to get people to be able to.
And I
put
notice that sometimes when watching, go campaign for Bernie or go campaign for, a particular candidate. And it's like, okay, yeah, okay. Sometimes you'll get sent to a website, sometimes you'll text somebody, but like a lot of these are cold and they're kind of scary and you'll lose like 99% of the interest because people just don't know what to do. And I found that like one of the most important things for getting people to canvas was I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being in front of a potential voter's door as streamlined and as easy as possible. So if that means fill out the form, here's your hotel room, we can set up carpools, like whatever dumb logistic thing you can take care of, or whatever dumb knowledge hurdle you can get over. And it might be something as simple as filling out a form on a live stream, or it might be something as simple as showing somebody or talking somebody through a process. I think that especially online, we take for granted how easily people are discouraged from participating in certain things. The rest of the world has figured this out too, because in the real world, if you turn on any old person radio, and I listen to a lot of AM radio, you'll constantly hear commercials where it's like, are you receiving all of your Social Security benefits? You might not know. Call a lawyer; they'll help you figure it out. You've got people on Twitter today that are trying to walk people through like, hey, there's a new child tax credit. If you file a tax return, you can get money in advance. But a lot of people don't know this. When it came to signing up at the healthcare exchanges on the ACA, a lot of people don't know this, right? So all of this carries over into your real world advocacy too. Assume that people want to help, but you have to make it as easy as possible. And then what Dylan said afterwards, sometimes following up with confirmations of a commitment is also a big deal as well. For our canvassing things, we had people that were dedicated to just, and then what Dylan said afterwards, sometimes people don't know this, right? So all of this carries over into your real world advocacy too. Assume that people want to help, but you have to make it as easy as possible. And then your real world advocacy too. Assume that people want to help, but you have to make it as easy.
Okay, that's a good little like sound bite.
Assume that people want to help, but you have to make it as easy as possible.
Oh, I think that's perfect. Hold on, let's see how this looks. I'm leaving out a lot of the explanation, but I feel like as long as I capture the core principle, we're probably good.
True, which is that everybody or a lot of people want to help and they want to do something, but they don't always know how. Assume that people want to help, but you have to make it as easy as possible.
Not as good.
Pools, like whatever dumb logistic thing you can take care of, or whatever dumb like knowledge hurdle you can get over. And it might be something as simple as filling out a form on a live stream, or it might be something as simple as showing somebody or talking somebody through a process. There's just, I think that especially online, we take for granted how easily people are discouraged from participating in certain things. The rest of the world has figured this out too, because one of the most important things for getting people to Canvas was I need to sometimes you'll text somebody, but like a lot of these are cold and they're kind of okay. Sometimes you'll get sent to a website, sometimes you'll text somebody, but like a lot of these are cold and they're kind of scary, and you'll lose like 99% of the interest because people just don't know what to do. And I found that like one of the most important things for getting people to Canvas was I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being in front of a potential voter's door as streamlined and as easy as possible.
Let's try something with that, because that is.
And I found that like one of the most important things for getting people to Canvas was I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being in front of a potential voter's door as streamlined and as easy as possible.
Like that bit is really good. So here, let's take out this. Let's put this here. We're a couple seconds over. We're about 8 seconds over. I think we can make this work. So let's do some clipping.
How? And I found that like one.
Time for some masterful editing.
And I found that like one of the most. One of the most important things for getting people to Canvas was I need to like getting out. I need to make this. I need to make the process. I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your.
I hate it when people like say a word but like stretch out as much as possible. It's like you as opposed to you know? This just makes editing the videos harder because it takes up, like it's a time economy. This is also the reason I really like working on the docs, is because like now we have to really figure out like what's important here, right? Like what are the important takeaways from what he said,
I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being to being in front of a potential voter's door. Or it's streamlined. It's streamlined and is line and
Editing Skyrim? No, I'm not editing Skyrim. Wait, hold on. Am I still... No, I'm just in the just chatting category.
and as easy as possible. And as easy as possible. As easy as possible.
All right, I think I know what to take out. I want to take out this transition because technically you don't need the transition with Katie.
Start.
Real quick on that, I really want to pick up on something that Katie said. When we were doing our
This might be sufficient. Ah, fuck, really? Damn, that wasn't enough. We are 2 seconds over. All right, time to go back through. We're almost there. I think this is basically what we want to get, right?
I think how to get people involved. I think how to get people involved in things. One of the most useful things I found was where it's, we need to fill. I think how to get people involved in things. One of the most useful things I found was where it's, we need to fill in this government submission by this date, or, we need to write a letter or something. And that can seem very intimidating and people don't, they're very keen to help this date, or, we need, date, or we need to write a letter or something, and that write a letter something, and date, or we need to write a letter, and that can seem very intimidating and people don't, they're very keen to help. Intimidating people don't, seem very intimidating. They're very keen to help, but they don't intimidating. They're very keen to. That can seem very intimidating. They're very keen to help, but they don't know how to do it or what to do. And I've done a couple of live streams where I've just sat down and opened the form up and just talk people through it, like really super simple. Just talk people through it, really super simple, step by step. This is what I'm writing here. Here's some other things I could.
All right, how is this? I'm 1 second over. Fuck me. All right, we're gonna get there. Come on. Am I really 1 second over? I can't believe that.
Streamlined and as easy as possible.
Yeah, 1 second over. Fuck. All right. Come on, we're almost there.
I think how to get people involved in things. One of the most useful things. I think how to get people involved. think how to get people involved, one of the most useful things I found was where it's, oh, we need to fill in this government submission by this date, or we need to write a letter. And that can seem very intimidating. They're very keen to help, but they don't know how to do it or what to do. And I've done a couple of live streams where I've just sat down and opened the form up and just talked people through it. Really super simple, step by step. This is what I'm writing here. Here's some other things I could consider. This is why I'm not writing this thing. And then just be like, look, that took half an hour or whatever. And I think that's made a big half an hour or whatever. And I think that's made a big difference because, you know, so many people want to help because, you know, because so many people want to help and just don't know where to start.
When we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we need to do? We've got so much interest online, but not many people will show up.
Can we just cut out the I think part? At the beginning, yeah, let's see if we can. Here.
I think how to get people involved.
Sure, cut that out.
How to get people involved, one of the most useful things I found was where it's, oh, we need to
we're close. Close. All right, back over to Steven.
When we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we need to do? We've got so
You can cut out the yinos. I've been cutting out the yinos, yeah.
much interest online, but not many people will show up. You might get 500 responses on a survey. You might get 20 people that actually show up in person. I think that Katie says something that is unbelievably true.
Cut out little pauses like this. But you see, this is why this is important, because it forces us to actually think like, all right, what are the important ideas?
To show up in person. I think that Katie says something that is unbelievably true, which is that everybody or a lot of people want to help and they want to do something, but they don't always know how. And I found that one of the most important things for getting people to Canvas was I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being in front of a potential voter's door as streamlined and as easy as possible.
Yes, we got it. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's really good. We got it, fam. Oh, that's satisfying. That's really satisfying. Yes. Ah, it's so good. All right. Do this. So we're gonna put this like first we'll make the volume. I think the volume is like better if we put it like negative 35 decibels. This is gonna be a good. I'm really excited about this one. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with because there were so many good conversations during this panel. I'm sorry. Like, I normally am very apathetic to Twitch panels because I don't think that there's a lot of progress. I really liked this one. I know that Destiny thought that there could have been a lot of deeper conversation, which fair. I think that there could be as well. But like, as far as like general information during the panel, I thought it was really good, you know, compared to like how most of these conversations, like how most panels end up going over. Does this mean, also I have to wonder, does this mean I can claim the title of best Twitch panel host or hostess? Because I think, I don't know, fam. I might be able to fight Dylan for that title now. I don't know. All right, here. Put that there. Go back. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. Oh, also first file. Save. There we go.
How to get people involved, one of the most useful things I found was where it's, oh, we need to fill in this government submission by this date, or we need to write a letter, and that can seem very intimidating. They're very keen to help, but they don't know how to do it or what to do. And I've done a couple of live streams where I've just sat down and opened the form up and just talked people through it. Really super simple, step by step. This is what I'm writing here. Here's some other things I could consider. This is why I'm not writing this thing. And then just be like, look, that took half an hour or whatever. And I think that's made a big difference because so many people want to help and just don't know where to start.
When we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we need to do? We've got so much interest online, but not many people will show up. You might get 500 responses on a survey. You might get 20 people that actually show up in person. I think that Katie says something that is unbelievably true, which is that everybody or a lot of people want to help and they want to do something, but they don't always know how. And I found that one of the most important things for getting people to canvas was I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being in front of a potential voter's door as streamlined and as easy as possible.
One second.
But not many people will show up. You might get 500 responses on a survey. You might get 20 people that actually show up in person. I think that Katie says something that is unbelievably true, which is that everybody or a lot of people want to help.
I think that's fine. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. If this contained Rob Norton, no, we would have been able to do anything, right? Nothing would have gotten accomplished whatsoever, right? Because, like, we can't constantly, like, the problem with a lot of those debate panels is that, like, there's a lot of conversations that are happening that, like, if people don't know the answer, we can then, like, sure, those panels are good for, like, people who already, like, you know, who want some, like, very basic introductory, like, you know, basic social issues 101. But, like, for people who actually, like, know what they're talking about and actually are ready to, like, all right, let's start, like, implementing change, this is the panel for those people, right?
And they want to do something, but they don't always know how. And I found that one of the most important things for getting people to canvas was I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being in front of a potential voter's door as streamlined and as easy as possible.
Good shit. Let's put in some titles. What's a good title for Katie Montgomery? Say U.S. trans activist. Or UK. Sorry. Did I say US? I meant UK. Sorry, Dylan. We're covering up your face. Don't feel too beat up about it. There we go. Then we can have like a nice fade. So opacity, the beginning. Fade in.
How to get people involved. One of the most useful
that's
things I
good.
found was where it's, we need to fill in this government submission.
Also, is it Katie Montgomery with an IE or Katie Montgomery with a Y? It's with an IE. Okay. Also, what the fuck is up with this? Katie Montgomery before is the first choice or the second choice that comes up. Fuck you, internet. People don't need to be knowing that shit. Awesome. Thank you.
How to get people involved. One of the most useful.
Then we can do another title. So default still.
I think that's made a big difference because so many people want to help and just don't know where to start.
When we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we
Oh, shit. Oh, hey, Hans. How's it going? Hello, take care. Gotta go take care of my raiders. Oh, hey. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Hans. For people who are joining, join Discord if you aren't already in here. Yeah. I appreciate it, Hans. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, and hop into the the Discord. We have cookies and popcorn, at least for me. We're just finishing up a short, and we might be able to do one more, which is really good.
How to get people involved. One of the most useful things I found was where it's, oh, we need to fill in this government submission by this date, or we need to write a letter. And that can seem very intimidating. They're very keen to help, but they don't know how to do it or what to do. And I've done a couple of live streams where I've just sat down and opened the form up and just talked people through it. Really super simple, step by step. This is what I'm writing here. Here's some other things I could consider. This is why I'm not writing this thing. And then just be like, look, that took half an hour or whatever. And I think that's made a big difference because so many people want to help and just don't know where to start.
When we were doing our canvassing events, we were trying to iterate from one event to the next to figure out like, okay, well, what do we need to do? We've got so much interest online, but not many people will show up. You might get 500 responses on a survey. You might get 20 people that actually show up in person. I think that Katie says something that is unbelievably true, which is that everybody or a lot of people want to help.
Where's your popcorn? It's BYOP. Bring your own popcorn.
And they want to do something, but they don't always know how. And I found that one of the most important things for getting people to canvas was I need to make the process of you sitting in front of your computer to being in front of a potential voter's door as streamlined and as easy as possible.
Good shit. I like it. Sending that to print, baby. Good stuff. That's good. This is a good short. I like this short. I don't think it'll perform as well. My general, like my RGR shorts perform really, really well. But I like these. Like these are, like this is super informative content, you know? So as long as it's up on my channel, I feel like it'll be good. And people who care will find it or be able to find it easy enough. At the store where mine is. Please get me some and I'll share it. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. All right, what do we got next? Oh, now we're gonna do the Dylan clip. All right, we'll do the Dylan clip that was like basically right here. Where it's like it's important to follow up with people on social media personally. I think that'll be really good. All right. Well, how are y'all doing, chat? Oh, whoa. I'm super low. How goes it? Talk to me. How are thou? Hot take, 2 panels again, but use Shelly Cam and go by Shelly. Use my secret alternate alias of Shelly. Oh, hold on. I have to text someone, by the way. And speaking of Shelly, because I am leaving tomorrow, I'm going to get someone to look after Shelly. Could you use more research stream, but we'll survive? Well, I mean, like, I'm trying to get out as many. Basically, like, I know that I want to do more research stream because we're going to be focusing on critical race theory. It's just like before I leave for Labor Day weekend, I want to try and get out as many shorts as possible. And also, especially like from this panel, because it's timely right now, and I would like to do them now while it's still relatively timely. Cough, cough. You mean Shelly does not know how to look after herself? Turns out no. Oh, also. Boom. Shelly can't pull herself up by her bootstraps because she doesn't have boots. True. She'd be the perfect panelist. Conservatives can't use that argument against her. All right, new project. As soon as it loads. You can't helmet a literal turtle. It's illegal. True. Except McConnell. Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your time. Okay. Bop. New thing. Oh, wait, hold on. That's loud. Okay, that's actually pretty perfect. 29.58. Okay. Just heard someone refer next month as 4th of July month. It's so good. Oh yeah, I'm using Adobe Premiere. Sorry. Considering the House voted to remove all Confederate statues in Congress, does that mean we finally get rid of McConnell? Oh fuck, I don't know. It's a good question. Candidate Day tomorrow? Oh, happy Candidate Day tomorrow. You can disable play audio while scrubbing if you prefer. Nah, it's alright. I like hearing that. Hey Dave, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Why do I keep being called a groundwalker? ESO being very mean. Wait, which where are you being called a groundwalker? Where are you playing in? A groundwalker? Who the hell is calling you that? Yeah, it's interesting because like ESO does not pull punches. Like there's a lot of people in factions in the game that are incredibly racist. Like a lot of the bad factions in the Old Mary Dominion are like a lot of the enemies there explicitly racist. Like they're like white supremacist equivalent, you know? Tajit. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, no, racism is like a big thing in ESO. Or at least playing with the theme. They don't try to make it like a good quality, obviously. But like, you know, they don't like pull those punches. 29.58.
Stuff requires like a deliberate, concentrated effort. It requires a lot of time. It requires a lot of money. It requires a lot of organizing.
Is to take action. Oh, did something happen? What the hell? Okay, for some reason my camera came undone. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes I'll do that. Cannot explain it.
Up to a huge platform for any experts or
never really know if someone's going to show up if you just make a post.
Okay, here we go. This is where Dylan's stuff starts. Okay, like 1:30. We can work with that.
I've tried to organize. I've tried to organize events before. Events before using the internet. I've tried to organize events before using the internet. Particularly on like I've tried to organize events before using.
Riley, have you looked into the NYC demo mayoral primary at all? Not really. I haven't been that invested in it. Why? If y'all want to catch me up on what's happening there, then I'd be interested in hearing about it, but I haven't been following it a lot personally. My character is currently collecting ash from urns. Nice. Oh yeah, socks. We need the RGR field. I love Osh field playing cameras, right? Oh, it used ranked choice voting? Oh, interesting. It'd be cool to see how it went over there. Yeah, that's cool. Made the very Shelly field, sure. And now we're like a degree removed from Vosh, but sure, if you want to do something with Shelly, then sure, absolutely. Made the very wise decision to wait until after exams to start playing this game. Gotcha. Yeah, that's probably a good move. I'm pretty sure that why Yang didn't do well was because he dropped like a really controversial take about Israel-Palestine, right, during the campaign, right? Or that's at least the rumor. I can't validate that, so don't put a bunch of weight in it. That's my understanding. Is that basically Yang dropped like a super nuclear take on Israel-Palestine, which probably did not help his chances. But also, that goes to show that, like, listen, social media can help. Having a giant social media presence can help, but it is not determinative, right? It's just not. It's not determinative, or nearly as determinative as what people think. I think that a really good lesson from here is that, like, social media is a great way to disseminate information and to fundraise. I think that both of those things are incredibly, incredibly true. But I think that, like, and I think that it's also possible. I think it's conceivable to be able to organize like a really strong core following, but it can't be like localized, right? He's also managed to piss off every single major LGBT org in New York City. Wait, how? What the fuck did he say? Or did he say kink at Pride and he got roasted or don't do kink at Pride? Because that will, if he got roasted for saying that, then that will be not good for me in the future. I'm pretty sure that position would go over well with most voters. Wait, really? He ended up offending the group's members. Trying hard, like real hard, to appeal to the LGBTQ Democratic group. Yang seemed to more focused on proving he knows gay people and where they drink in New York City than he was discussing relevant policy. Well, first, let me say I go to Cubbyhole. I think I'm going to be accompanied by at least one of my two campaign managers who are both gay. So there's like a lot of, familiarity with the community at the head of my campaign leading it. Came across like he was a tourist in New York and wanted to visit a gay bar. Some also took issue with the way the businessman kept repeating the phrase, your community. I genuinely do love you and your community. You're so human and beautiful. You make New York City special. No idea how we ever lose Republicans, given you all, frankly, leadership roles. All right, so here's the thing, right? Is that, like, the mentality itself doesn't seem to be, like, malicious. It's just, like, it just seemed like he really put his foot in his mouth, right? Like, I don't think that he's, like, malicious. I don't know. He sounds like kind of the way that, like, a lot of people, I don't know. He sounds like a lot of people who I know from the Midwest who are, like, well-meaning but don't know what the fuck that they're talking about, right? Like, it's not surprising that he would offend people. This sounds like it would, like I could see people reasonably getting offended over this. it just kind of sucks because as a politician, yeah, exactly. It gives off very hello fellow kids. Yeah, exactly. Hello there, fellow gays. Not very much. Listen, when you're a politician, like I say for the vast majority of like, especially like LGBT and minority issues, you just talk about the policy that's relevant to them. Like just keep it like, listen, like the trans panic defense, really big problem in a lot of states. We're going to get rid of that if it's still here, right? Philosophy tube spore bigotry. Yeah, I think that I do like that that idea from Philosophy Tube's video on transphobia. I don't know if Natalie said it first, but like that idea, yeah, like that. He sounds like a tourist thing has caused a lot of resentment. Yeah, I get that. And so like listen, when you're a politician and you're trying to get like support from a specific group, you just talk about the policies that are relevant to that group. All right, don't try to sound like weird or like familiar. Like even if you're super familiar, even if you're a part of that group, right? Like me being someone who is LGBT, eventually running for public office, I'm just gonna keep it to the policies, right? Like I don't want to keep up, like kind of like what Representative Tatome was saying the other day on the panel. Like I'm not gonna constantly play up like, oh, you know, as the first trans woman who was elected to representative in the state of Maryland, right? Assuming that I am elected and no one else was represented who's trans before me, right? Like I'm not gonna bring that up. Fuck that, you know? Like it sounds pretentious. It's weird. Like to constantly like make that the thing that defines me when, you know, the thing that people vote for me for is my policy, right? So like just keep it, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. It's super weird. Just like talk about the policy that's relevant to the community and you'll get their support. Like that's the way that you win, you know? Id pull bad. Yeah, id pull is bad. The same reason why it's not like we're over here like, oh yeah, you know who we stand for governor of California? Caitlyn fucking Jenner. Like, no, of course not. Like, it seems like she's pretty conservative and doesn't have a lot of really good views, right? Like, just because she's a trans woman, she would be the first trans, like, governor of California doesn't mean that we're gonna fucking vote for her, right? Because you vote for someone based on their policies and based on their public positions, you know? He should have stuck with his old strat, just saying universal basic income over and over. Hey, listen, it worked. Or it worked to an extent. But yeah. I don't know. Big True, he's literally the definition of a single issue candidate. Yeah, Big True. Anyway. All right, well, that's interesting. But yeah, that's the big lesson from here, that, like, social media, like, does matter a little bit, but, like, doesn't control the vast majority of races, right? As far as, like, having a really big platform. Especially on the state level. Remember when he tried to bribe Americans live on the TV debate? Wait, really? I don't remember that. No. The speech in my union was maybe 6 out of 10 overall. I support a few of his positions, but didn't do well. Yeah, no. A lot of politicians end up being, like, relatively underwhelming when they actually go to speak in public. Like, I don't know. There's people. A lot of them have, like, a couple well-thought-through positions. Like, I want you all to think about, like, the positions that we think through on here. I guarantee you the amount of time that we have put in thinking through our positions is probably... And it's not going to be, like, more than, like, every politician, but, like, more than a lot of politicians in terms of, like, the amount of time that they spend individually thinking through the positions, you know? A lot of politicians focus more on things like, you know, what their voters care about, what's relevant to winning the next election, making sure that they have their donor base squared away, polling data, right? Like, those are the things that people care about. They don't care necessarily, like, primarily about, like, oh, how logically consistent their positions are, right? Or how convincing they are, you know? They care about their rhetoric and they care about making sure that they win, for the most part. What is this? I think I hate it. Or I love it. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. Caitlyn Jenner's platform. I may be trans, but underneath we're all offensively rich, and that's what binds us together. True. Here you can click through their preliminary RCV rounds for this race. Oh, interesting. Oof. 11%. I thought it was less than that. I don't know much about the other candidates, but yeah. 2. Didn't change that much, but interesting. And then there's like a bunch of other people. Yeah, but again, Andrew Yang, former presidential candidate, coming fourth in the board of election in the New York mayoral race. Like, that says a lot. I don't know. It says a lot. It's a big lesson, right? I don't know, I always think, like, y'all know how Sargon tried running for, like, an elected position and ended up failing miserably? I'm sure he thought, like, oh yeah, I have this giant online political platform, I'm absolutely gonna crush it, and then he got, like, fucking destroyed. Or, like, he was that one guy who ran as, like, the one guy who talked to Vosh and Destiny, was it Josh? Raised, like, a shit ton of money, big on, like, TikTok, and then, like, ended up doing absolutely terrible. Yeah, Joshua for Congress. Yeah, exactly. I mean, former presidential candidate is a title shared by former... Okay. A former, like, actually contestable, or actually, like, relevant political candidate. Sure, there's, like, a ton of people who ran for president, right? But, like, only a few people actually made it to, like, national debates, right? The fact they did is, like, it's not nothing. It was Congress and very low, like, less than 1%. Yep. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, social media doesn't mean shit in terms of how much turnout you'll get. That you have to rely on the actual skills for running a campaign at that point. But I do think that social media is really good for developing your platform, which is what I do, fundraising, which is also what I do, and kind of, like, creating, like, the core of your base, right? Like, even if it's not going to be, even if most people who follow me online are not going to go out and, like, vote for me later, I am reasonably convinced that they're going to at least, like, be kind of like the foundation for what my, platform will become, right? And I think that that's important to invest in, right? Just like I'm sure that when Destiny went down to Georgia and also went out to Omaha, that a lot of the core of his following went with him, right? Oh god, he didn't just fail to kill this political party. Getting in multiple debates means a lot. Yeah, I get that. Anyway, all right. We have 20 minutes. Let's crank out a short in 20 minutes. Let's do it, fam. Let's focus. Are you ready? RGR Hypes in chat. Let's crank out this video in 20 minutes. I believe in us. I think we can do it.
I've tried to organize events before using the internet, particularly on, like, the city council level, and the big
Speed run. Hold on, let's get some... Can we get, like, some speed run music? We're bringing it back. I know exactly what I want to listen to. I don't know why I want to listen to it, but I want to listen to this in particular.
particularly on, like, the city council. Particularly on, like, the city.
I've turned it down a little bit.
Particularly on, like, the city council level.
All right, hold on. I have to turn up the volume for all of this.
I've tried to organize events before using the internet, particularly on, like, particularly on the city council level, and the biggest level.
All right, this is too much for me. I'm sorry. Here. Why don't we do... We'll do... Why don't we do synthwave? That sounds good. I think I prefer this. This is a little more, like, focusy.
The internet, particularly on the city council level, and level. And the biggest issue I always ran into And the biggest.
Night, Lathis. Have a good night. We're going too fast, yeah?
Issue I always ran into is
it's cursed. Fuck me. I was worried about being late. Like, I try to like distinguish myself from Vosh because I know it's like the Xander Hall is. Well, I can't say that Xander Hall is a clone of Vosh because Xander Hall came first, but that like Vosh is the clone of Destiny. I don't want to make it like I'm the clone of Destiny. You know, got to be careful with that.
I always ran into is when you just make a post, you can
but like it's cute and I like it. I appreciate the effort.
post, you can like just you can like just hope. Post, you can just hope. Just hope people show up. People show up, but you never really know if someone's going to show up if you just make a post. It's so important to have. Just make a post. It's so important to have that one-on-one communication with people. With people. The best way to get somebody on Twitter, Facebook, or any platform really to go to the event is to move it from say a tweet or a Facebook post to DM. To DMs, to private messages. Post to DM, to private messages. We're like, hey, we're like, hey, I heard, yeah. Private messages. We're like, hey, I saw you like this. Hey, I heard. We're like, hey, I saw you like this post. Hey, I saw you like this post. Here's more information I can give you. Here's some the actual date and time, or here's some can give you. Here's the actual date and time, or maybe like or you can be like, you know, guilt them a little bit. Or maybe you can be like, you know, guilt them a little bit, like, hey, I actually got the supplies already ready for you. Like, I'm super excited for you to come up. I'm super excited for you to come up.
I don't know how I feel about Dylan's. I mean, like, I guess I'm glad that he said it because, like, yeah, no, this is good music. Because, I mean, like, he's not wrong here. This is how most people, like, operate politically who are smart and just, like, Feels kind of weird, but also like this is how, you know, you get random people to show up.
You to come up, like do your best, whatever you can in that private communication to be like,
Level 7 acquired. Nice! We need some RGR hypes in chat for Mayor McCheese for getting level 7. Or Scott. I don't know how to refer to you as. You can let me know. Nice.
we want you here and we value your participation.
Whatever sounds less cringely, entirely up to you. All right, I'll just mix it up then.
Because all the events that I ended up organizing, the events that I ended up organizing on the city council level, when it came to like the amount of people who showed up, the amount of people who showed up who I didn't directly talk to, it's always like 2 or 3, like 80% of the people.
Let's see how we're doing. Fuck. All right, this is gonna be harder than I thought.
Who I didn't directly talk to, who I didn't directly talk to, it's always like 2 or 3, like 80%, 2 or 3, like 80% of the people who show up are the people you directly talk to in private messages or in person. And
You know what? What do I know what?
so
I'm sorry, I think these high elves are a little sus. What could ever make you think that?
wasn't it? And so when it comes to making
Need to take that up with Pixie, because apparently she rolled a high elf for, well, because she wanted to be magical, of course. And I mean, like, I can't say too much because I am in the Aldmeri Dominion because of Queen Irene, whom we stan, whom we absolutely stan. Have you looked into why the Khajiits joined the Wait, why did they join the Dominion? I actually don't know why.
when it comes to making social media posts without any
Literally, as I make the joke, I am poisoned. Now I'm about to be sacrificed by the High Elves. Sorry. It might be a little bit racist. Are you familiar with this tweet by Lexi? They're a decently sized leftist stream. Oh, Lexi is absolutely fucking off the wall. And not in a good way. They're a decently sized leftist streamer who've recently criticized your kink at pride takes if you want to open up that discourse again. I mean, I don't know what to say. We'll have this lawyered. Oh, it's blocked for me. What's the... Can you give me a screenshot, or is it just this? If we don't exclude you, we can't unite. What? I feel bad for her. What? Basically, the moon vanished at some point. True. It's a video from Hans's panel where she responds to claims. Can you give me the panel? I mean, like, this is someone, I hate to be the one to say it, this is someone who will unironically justify kink at, like, this is someone who will unironically justify doing kink in front of children. Oh yeah, no, if you want to, then you're totally free for it. Why don't you do it? You can join anytime, layman. Okay, Alice, yeah, go ahead and join stream chat. You can just like click into the stream channel. You should be able to. If I want to be a nerd, min-max, Nords are two-handed, correct? Hey, what's up, layman?
Hey.
Hey, all right, what the fuck is going on? Listen, I've been harassed by so many people. What's one more, right? So
Yeah,
go ahead.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
You can go ahead, screen share.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute. I just have to open this up here. All right. So here is the. Are you in the stream yet? Sometimes there's a delay.
Oh, 1 second.
Pardon me, sorry, you cut out.
Oh,
All right.
hold on. Let me pop this
Yep.
out. 1 second. My computer is going a little bit slow.
Yeah,
Okay.
no worries. Take your time.
All right. I'm looking at it.
All right. So you read this already, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. Here's a clip.
Cool. So I thought it over. I have 3 main purposes of Pride: to unite the LGBT community, to strengthen the community, and to celebrate the community. My position on kink, and especially as it relates to children, is that letting kink, and I'm focusing very specifically on kink because I feel like a lot of people get away from this, in the Pride completely unregulated means that we cannot achieve the first goal of uniting the community. Cool. That's absolutely true. There is nothing objectionable about that whatsoever. Unite the LGBT community. if you let kink and the Pride completely unregulated, very specifically completely unregulated, that means you're making the space inherently unsafe to children, and you are necessarily going to exclude them unless you're fine having kink and unless you're fine involving children in sex acts. I absolutely 1000% stand by this. Anyone who says anything to the contrary is acting absolutely negligently. This person is completely fine either excluding children from Pride or beyond that, letting children be involved in sex acts. I don't know which is the case, but these people are fucking off their rocker. I'm sorry.
Go off, queen. Go off, queen.
Like, holy
Go
shit.
off.
I am so fucking tired of these people.
Wait, hold on. There's a follow-up clip. Hold on, where is it? Oh god, where was it? There was another one. Or wait, was that the second one? Wait, hold on. There was. Okay, I have to look up Gammy. Because Gammy tweeted the follow-up clip. Okay. There's a second clip. Here's the second clip.
So he continues the level of unintelligible nonsense, saying that kink is defined in relation to sexuality, therefore involving children in sexual act. This is intentional or not, the stupidest sleight of hand I've ever seen. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's an insane thing to say to me. I don't know like how that's a defensible statement. Like if you're defining something in relation to sexuality and then you are suggesting that children should be involved in that, you're involving children in sexuality. That's the most logically valid string of words that I can think of off the top of my head, right? So like I don't know what
this person is fucking
going on about.
She is.
Let's see what the clip is.
Yeah, go for it.
Defined by every reputable source is acting in a way specifically appealing to an unconventional sexual taste, desire, or preference. I have not found anyone who has said that kink is not sexual to provide a definition that somehow is more reputable and not referencing sexual desires or preferences. So doing this around children necessarily involves them in a sexual act.
Yes.
Kink is defined by
Yeah.
every reputable
Yes. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Like if she want, like I'll be completely charitable. There are parts of that you could clip out. Like if she wanted to do the clipping things out of context to try and make me look really bad, there are so many other parts of that panel that she could have taken. But I know, especially in the opening statements, that I was as clear and concise as possible, and that there's no like everything that she said is just absolutely true. Like all of it.
There's nothing in their bio, but I'm pretty sure the pronouns they use are it. If that's...
I mean, all right. I shouldn't say. People can be able to use its pronouns. It's just really weird that a lot of people who come from really fringe parts of the internet are coming out with the really weird takes that apparently kink is fine to do in front of children. We should be able to justify doing it in front of them, even if it's explicitly involving them in a sexual act. Like, what the fuck is going on? This is unironic. Oh my god. They are either negligently justifying pedophilia or intentionally justifying pedophilia. And I have no idea what the fuck it is. It's either negligently justifying it, where they don't intend to, but they end up actually justifying it, or they're intentionally justifying it. And holy fuck.
True. Okay, here's the follow-up. Some people like feet. If you go shoeless to a public event because your partner likes feet, you're not involving children in a sexual act. Now, I'll let you decide if that's analogous to what you said in those clips.
Wait, some people like feet. If you go shoeless to a public event, hold on, no. The whole point. So if so to go back to my argument, right? The whole idea is that we shouldn't be involving people in a sexual act. There are some things that you can do which sometimes are involving people in a sexual act. If you are not wearing shoes to an event, you can be doing that for any number of reasons. If you're going shoeless to an event just because you don't want to wear shoes that day because they're uncomfortable, or you're going to the beach or whatever, that's totally fine. If you're going to an event not wearing feet because you're trying to get someone else off, or you're trying to get yourself off because you're appealing to a kink, that's absolutely a sexual act. So if you're doing it for the latter, then yeah, you absolutely shouldn't be doing that around children. If you're doing it for the former, then fine. Then you don't have to do it. Then
when I was on I can't remember the exact example that came up. I think it was with people in bikinis instead of feet. I think they're analogous for what I'm about to say. But basically, like my response to this is usually that if you are barefooted, there are the expectations for why someone is barefooted in a social situation would be relatively neutral, right? You could be barefooted for all kinds of reasons. But if you are wearing a full body gimp suit, you're probably not wearing that in a neutral manner, right? Because right, like
because they're explicitly designed for sexual purposes, right?
Yeah. Like
bikinis
in the outside of the internet, this is relatively obvious to me and to you. But it seems like when you are terminally on the internet, this isn't very well understood. But apparently you are a Jordan Peterson type who is like a biological essentialist, weird incel person or whatever, if you say this. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's great. That's fantastic.
That is wonderful. Amazing. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this. I thought you would find this
thanks. I don't even know what to do to respond to these people are operating on a whole nother level of logic. I don't know what to do with these people. I'm at my wit's end. Like, this is insane. This is outrageous. How far this is going.
There's more responses. Wait, I've got several definitions of Merriam-Webster. I got Wikipedia. This video might actually be just okay. I don't know if that's responding to you or not.
No, it definitely is, because like I tried to cite like several definitions to support like why I'm using this particular definition of kink, and it's like for some reason, everyone is like, no, Riley, you can't use those definitions. And then I ask for a definition, and no one can give me one. They're like, Riley, you should appeal to one that's within the community. And I'm like, all right, give me one that's from the community. And no one can give me one. Not one person.
I don't have anything else to add to that. I mean, you're pretty much saying it all for me. So.
Yeah, I know. I've been through this so much. The people who deal with it are fucking, I don't know. It's really weird. Like, I don't know. It's like if I were a conservative watching this from the outside looking in, then it would not be a hard stretch to think that, like, all right, there's probably like some of these people who are either intentionally trying to justify pedophilia or who are negligently, unknowingly justifying pedophilia.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't want to be too charitable, but I think that a lot of these people are not, they might not be intending, like, they don't have the intention to justify pedophilia. I just think that the things that they're saying, the things they're trying to justify, are coming from a place of just like valuing sexual liberty, and they're worried that like, oh, the conservative people, the evil conservatives, are just going to take this and make us all look like, you know, quote unquote degenerates.
Oh yeah,
right?
no, I totally get
and
that.
they're worried about that, and I get that. But the problem is that if somebody is straw manning you, you don't become the straw man. You know what I mean? If someone's saying, oh, these people are absurd, you don't concede the absurdity. You say, no, I am not absurd. I am a normal human being like everybody else is. And I would like to be treated like everybody else is. And this is why I deserve to be treated like everybody else is, right? You don't say, oh no, I actually am this deranged human being that you think I am. You don't do that in any situation, right? Like, it's just so weird. It's so surreal to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's incredibly weird.
It is.
I mean, like, I already went through this. If you want, like, my abridged, like for me to go through it again. So basically, I could conceive, no one actually offered this, I had to arrive at this myself. I could conceive of a definition of kink, which is able to include non-sexual acts, where it's basically you have certain things, like you have like 2 categories under this group of kink, right? Where it's like you have one group, which is like doing things which appeal to specific sexual desires or tastes. And then the other category are things which are referential to sexual desires or tastes, but aren't directly sexual in and of themselves, right? Examples include, like, someone brought up, like, infinity colors, right? Infinity colors could be something which are not always used in a sexual manner, but which are referential to a relationship which is fundamentally sexual in nature, right? And so, like, we can conceive of instances where someone is wearing it, where they are using it to reference back to, in that instance, a sexual desire or interest or relationship, but they are not doing a sexual thing as they are using it. But in that case, I would draw a distinction between that and the other thing, because you know what we already do this for? We do this for gender and sex. Because we have meaningful difference, we are able to meaningfully recognize the difference between sex, the biological characteristics of someone in certain respects, and gender, which is in many ways referential of sex, but is not the same thing. Because if we want to say that these are the same
relationship, but they're not the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, we already do this for gender and sexuality, and for the same reason that we shouldn't say that kink and things that are referential of kink are the same thing, we shouldn't say that gender and sex are the same thing, right?
Oh. For sure. No, I have nothing to add to that. I agree. So, like,
I don't know.
I just thought that I would show you that. I thought you would find that entertaining.
This will be great. If someone wants to, is there any way that someone could we clip that? Is there someone, like, how do you clip a YouTube, like a YouTube channel? If you want to, I'll tweet that out, because I can't actually see this because she blocked me, so I can't see what the fuck that they are.
I can send you the link, like, and you could, I don't know, retweet it behind the block if you like. I don't know.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Like, may as well, right?
Lexi came through my chat. Lexi came through my chat and argued that because I said their argument that teachers are unjustified hierarchy that children should teach each other was unconvincing. LMAO. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, Lexi's a anarchist, like anarcho-communist or whatever. So they argue things like we have to abolish prisons and we have to get rid of every hierarchy that ever exists, which I don't think anybody actually believes in. So anyway, I just DM'd you that was the first response, and then I'll DM you the second response if you want.
Okay. Someone get the timestamp in my stream, and I'll just edit it. In fact, you know what? It's a little bit after. I'll just fucking edit it together right now.
And then here's the third one that I saw Gammy retweet. There you go. So those are all in your DMs.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Some good content for you. Happy to oblige. Happy to build upon the RGR empire. So.
Nice. Amazing. Listen, we're gonna build up. We're gonna be stronger. And fucking all of these people who just want to burn everything. Right. We are going to survive in spite of this space that wants to just, like, have no meaningful discussion, and everyone just wants to go around justifying dog whistling, mass violence, and doing kink in front of children. Like, we will take this space and we will tectonically move it away from wherever the fuck it is right now. All right, I believe in us.
I'm here for it. Listen, I know you can do it. I know you got the platform for it. I know you're gonna. I know you will succeed. You and Pixie together as one, you will succeed. Okay.
Thank you.
I believe in you both. You're welcome. All right.
I appreciate
I'm
it,
gonna head
Raimu.
off. Gonna head into my other Discord for the night. It's Canada Day, so as of 8 minutes ago, my time. So you have a good night.
All right, have a good night. Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, they'll perform the fusion dance, unleash some other vault. Yeah, I'm never gonna get the Kink of Pride discourse or why it keeps getting regurgitated. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Why do these people keep buying into the straw man that that 4chan tried to get them to adopt? The reason that the 4chan app was a thing was because they tried to get lefties and LGBT people to defend doing kink in front of children. That was the whole point of the 4chan app. And yet somehow people keep falling for it. Stop it. Just say don't do kink in front of children. It's literally that easy. Now I spilled my popcorn. Prize officially over. Yep. All right. Twitch people, where do I raid you into? Tell me where to send you to. Oh wait, so-and-so, did you raid with people? No? Okay. Alright, where am I sending you into? Let's see. Who's on Twitch right now? Xander is live. Surus, Stardust, I'll send you into Surus. I like Surus. What's Surus's, Go to Star. Alright, everyone's saying Stardust. Okay. Alright, I'm sending you the Stardust. Okay. I'm sending you... multiple people said Stardust, so I'm sending you the Stardust. Alright. This really reminds me of when Destiny talked about people feeling they needed to support the looting of private businesses during 2020. Oh, fuck, yeah. No, I get that. That makes sense. Alright, I'm sending you off. Goodbye, Twitch people. Name the channel. I'm ending the stream for the rest of y'all, so... I think I'm done playing it, so 4 a.m. is my... Go to bed, alright? This is... Yeah, order... Go